The views expressed on this Turnbuckle Tabloid live stream or Turnbuckle Tabloid podcast episode do not reflect the views, thoughts, or opinions of the Rageworks brand, including the Rageworks podcast network, Rageworks content partners, advertisers, and affiliates. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
This is your girl's favorite referee, Angel Cruz. Before I hit the mat for the count of three, go give it a listen to the podcast that calls it right down the middle, just like me. And that's Turnbuckle Tabloid with Jay Santee.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
This is Madison, and my mom listens to Turnbuckle Tabloid in the car. Jay, you curse too much.
It's Wrestling Rundown with Jay Santee.
Live from New York, it's
Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Oh, there I am. Here I go.
Hello.
New audio, who this?
Hello.
Yeah, new audio, who this?
There we are.
Yeah, I'm working out the kinks of this new setup rig that I got here and stuff. So bear in mind with me with the new look and the trial and error I'm doing over here, guys. So
we're only upgrading from here.
Yeah. I've been upgrading for how many years now? Like it's been for the longest
new
time.
Mics, new headphones.
Yeah, it's listen.
Same old show.
So
what a week.
I mean, yeah, I have to say that there has been a lot on the table for not only wrestling, but for the progression, like I said, of this show. A lot of contacts being made this week. And if you guys don't know who the man who's sitting across from me right now, of course, is the man himself, the milkman. Whole Milk Mike is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
What up?
And for this week, Wrestling Rundown, there's a lot of stuff that I have to catch up on because I haven't done a Wrestling Rundown fully in quite a while because there was so much to catch up on with pay-per-views and stuff. Mm-hmm. So there's some stuff on the table that we need to.
Well, you're luck. I'm here to help you.
Oh, thank you, sir. So
especially when I messaged you, I was like, when do you want to do another recording? And like Sunday, I'm like, after this week, hell yes.
Listen, as I enjoy the rest of my margarita that I got on the Ave, and
which looks shady as hell.
It is very shady.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of shade going on there. Yeah, what's going on, y'all? Respect the craft. What's good out there? Yeah. Yeah, guys, if you want to call in, the number is 315-371-4367. That's 315-371-4367. And that'll actually be pretty cool because I'm still trying to work out the kinks of how to use all this new audio shit here. So
bear with us if you call in.
Yeah, just bear in mind that this is just basically a test. This is all a test that we're doing here right now. Mm-hmm. So other than that, as always, I am Norm McDonald of this segment, and this is your weekend updates wrestling rundown.
Since you made an upgrade, what's an upgrade from Norm McDonald? What would be higher than Norm McDonald?
Nothing right now.
Nothing.
Norm is my go-to. So Congratulations, Nia Jax returns to WWE, and the crowd went mild. What was your thoughts when you saw this?
I thought I was dreaming. I was like, what year is this? Like, what happened?
Dreaming.
You know what the funny thing was? That night I was flip-flopping from the Jet game and the Monday Night Raw. So then when Aaron Rodgers went down, I was like, okay, I'm sticking to Raw now. And then I went to sleep early, and then I missed the whole Nia Jax thing. So when I woke up, I was literally like, is this a dream? Like, is this clickbait?
You missed the whole?
The whole.
You saw what I did there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was not shocked. I know there was still rumors, and everybody is with this, that's a Vince signing. And I go, no, that's pretty much a joint collabo there. Triple H always had liked her. He was one of his kids, his projects as well. So,
but she didn't work out.
Yeah, and she's
been reckless.
She did show that she's been training hard. She's been showing that she's been
I'll say this, physically she looks better.
That she does.
She's still big, but she looks like slimmer.
It's a little bit more
defined.
Right. And I really believe wholeheartedly that I think they need a little shakeup in that roster a little bit.
True.
They do need to have that kind of monster look.
It was getting stale with the same old people.
Right.
And you can't have another blonde or brunette with big boobs.
Right. So I was not shocked by this, and I'm not.
Are you shocked with who she went after? She went after Raquel and Rhea.
Yeah.
She went straight to the top.
You gotta go for the ones that's at the top. I mean,
because the last time we saw her on TV, she got her arm broken by Shayna. You would think, let's start that.
Well, we shall see how that comes back, because there's always that kind of draw. But after what I've been watching in this past week on Raw,
closing of tabs.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what the heck is going on here. Listen, it's not porn. I'm not doing porn. There we go. It's not porn that I'm.
As we're talking about Nia Jax.
After this week I'm hoping we're not seeing another pairing of Shayna with a tag team. After
I hope not.
Yeah, because that's not necessary for her.
Yeah.
After the whole Zoe Starks thing. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get my jingle palette up in here running. Yeah, I really don't need to see. I need her to do her own thing. She needs to be out there, staking a name for herself and making. And I'm talking about Shayna.
Right.
Shayna needs to be out there.
Because they teased her and Zoe teaming.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was bothering me.
Right.
And we don't need to see that. So, but other than that,
also with Nia Jax coming back and then Kairi Sane making her return soon, it's. Like,
do you think Kyrie's worried?
Yeah, like shit. The bitch that gave me a concussion is back.
Oh no, we're not doing this shit again. I want to hear that in Japanese though. I was like no, we don't do this again. No. So I'm just hoping that it pans out. I hope she's although already people were trying to call out.
It would be Rhea versus Nia.
But people are already calling out that she botched on Raquel. I'm like, no, she didn't. She did all right. It was fine.
It looked somewhat questionable, but
it was all right.
I'll say the squash on Rhea and then her just smacking her in the face over and over again.
Right.
Was like, wow, you're going a little too far.
Yeah. So we shall see. We shall see. Did anyone hear about the Matt Riddle thing, that he's got his balls touched by a by a cop at JFK?
And then he took a picture of him and posted on social media.
Yeah.
What a clusterfuck.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
especially it's Matt Riddle.
I would be unhappy if someone was doing a little bit more extra to their job, because that's what it sounds like it was, that they were doing just a little bit too much. With
but do we
him.
believe it?
I mean, you never know these days.
It's he said, she says.
He said. So
he said. Whatever.
So but this day and age, it's like. It's Riddle. I mean, come on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the dude that years ago was almost canceled.
Yeah. So apparently he's not. He's refusing to fly into JFK anymore. So
great.
Now you're LaGuardia's problem there.
Yeah.
There you go. Have fun with that, sir.
Well, let's be realistic. How long until WWE says enough and axes him?
Well, we shall see. I still think that they still have hope for him. So we shall see. we saw that Endeavor has finally taken over the WWE. The merger's done.
Correct.
TKO is now in full effect. I bought some TKO stock.
Really?
Yeah, I bought into it. I don't know why, but I did. I sold my WWE stock at 85, but I bought TKO at 100. So I was like, oh.
So could you still buy WWE stock, or is it
No,
just TKO?
now it's just TKO now. Yeah, there's no WWE anymore. So now
this is interesting going forward to see how this works.
Well, there are some individuals who are saying that due to the merger that Vince still has some vetoing power, especially when it comes to the UFC. So I want to see how, if that is true, how he'll fuck up UFC from here on out. UFC isn't doing well lately anyway. So I would.
Do you have more insight onto how this whole how this whole merger is working?
Well, this really
who is really in charge?
Well,
because Triple H is creative, correct?
Well, not anymore. Creative, yes, but as a board member, he's out. He's out.
And Vince is CEO of WWE still.
I can. If
anybody in the chat wants to clarify,
yeah, I
look it up for us.
I believe he's the second in command of the whole TKO thing.
Right.
And
but I'm saying he can't make a decision on anything WWE anymore.
He can't. He still has that. Yeah, he still has that.
But he can overpower Triple H in anything he wants, or is that separate?
With Vince, anything's possible. It could be occurred, but
months, it's always
creative
influence.
Creative always has to answer to somebody. Right. Higher up. So it could be Vince. But right now, I think the Ari, who's the lead guy of everything, he's happy with the product, is how it's going now.
Right. And is that the same for Dana White? Is he the promoter still? He's
the promoter, but from what I hear, from what has been said, that Vince actually is over him now.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's an interesting dynamic that's going on.
So the stuff Henry was saying the other night, how long until the UFC guys make their WWE appearances?
Right. I am just more into the idea and the premise of, can we just let the old man just sit back and just enjoy the ride? It was like when they brought in the guy. If you watch The Office, they brought in Dunder from Dunder Mifflin to speak to the staff, right. And he's like, I don't even go to the board meetings anymore. I just send somebody as a replacement just to do that. Let's have Vince start doing that. Let's just have him just pull up and just be like,
well, let's be real here. Vince will never go away.
He always has to be somewhat of a figure somewhere. Yeah. It has to be an entity. By the way,
he doesn't know anything else. That's
by the way,
problem.
What was with the purple do-rag? What were we doing with that?
I have no. that picture just came out of nowhere.
What was with the purple do-rag, sir? Come on. Next on the table, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Mike Tenay and the late Don West being inducted into the Impact's Hall of Fame. Kudos to the two of them. Mm-hmm. People really don't.
They're very underrated as an announcer.
Underrated and don't understand the quote unquote, pun intended, impact that those two made during that time of TNA. It was Oski who actually put me onto the fact that he was such a big Don West and Tenay fan during that time. Right. And me as a wrestling fan, I did like them on commentary, but it wasn't until later on when I found out Don West, his history of wrestling, that he was oblivious to what how to call it, what was to be a part of it, and he was schooled to the game by Borash and Tenay and stuff like that.
But you felt he was very happy and very enthusiastic watching.
And he sounded like a vet.
He was commentating.
Yeah, he sounded like a vet. So
especially with the X Division guys, he was amazed at a lot of stuff that he did.
And Tenay, you knew from his WCW days.
Yeah, he's the professor, man. Tenay, and then Don West. I didn't know about this until he passed. Was that he was selling baseball cards? He was on those influencers.
Oh yeah, he was doing.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he was on that home shopping.
I didn't know where he came from.
We're here to sell you probably the rarest card that you would ever see. The Cal Ripken Jr., Billy Ripken, collabo cards. You're going to want to see this. This is a fantastic card set.
In the early days of TNA, honestly.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Waking the shit out of you in mid-sleep. Yeah, that'll do it.
In the early days of TNA, when they did the 3-man announce booth with Tenay, West, and fucking Ed Ferrara, thank God they changed it to Tenay and West, because let's be real, a lot of people, when they tuned to TNA, when Kurt Angle joined, Christian joined, the Dudleys joined, those were the two you heard weekly after week after week after week, and they grew on a lot of people.
Right.
Honestly, you could put them in the top 5 of greatest announced teams.
Somebody asked, have you guys started watching The Wrestlers on Netflix yet? If The Wrestlers,
maybe.
Are you is that the one that's the Vice show that they had now? It's on Netflix?
I think it's on OVW.
Oh, really?
Right, they use the OVW people.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't started watching it yet because I watched The Wrestlers on Vice.
Right.
They had their own documentary series.
Yeah, I think it's separate.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't started watching it yet. I need to check that out. Congratulations to Don West and Mike Tenay, man. Yeah, like I said, very, very underrated tandem in the commentary field, and kudos to them. They should get more recognition from not only the rest of the universe, but also the fan base as well.
Also, especially Mike Tenay. Not for nothing, they need announcers for WWE. Fucking, if Mike Tenay's not doing anything in Impact, fucking snatch him up.
Mike has great hair. I've always liked. He has a smaller version of Jimmy Hart kind of hair. It's like just it's a little.
I haven't really noticed. I don't look at his hair.
Disney, Amazon,
WWE,
possible purchasers of WWE streaming. There's talks that Disney and Amazon are in the running to get SmackDown on their streaming sites.
So what does that mean for Fox?
Well, Fox's deal is almost up, and I think Fox is asking for way too much money.
So they're definitely
done. Yeah, but I think that there might
be real here. If we're a Fox representative, we're not happy with the fact that the champion is not on TV every week.
Yeah.
If it was reversed and Roman was on the USA show, USA would not give a fuck. Fox would care, like, oh, we have Seth Rollins as our champion.
Right.
That was one of the things I should have said when we did like draft predictions, and they should have done. They should have switched Roman back to Raw.
I think that
the Bloodline story on the 3-hour show instead of the 2-hour show.
I think that it's possible, it's plausible to occur. Will it really matter now? Does ratings matter anymore?
I don't know. I guess for AEW's case it does, but not for WWE. Not as much as anymore, because right now it's Monday Night Football, which is going to be killing Raw. So now,
right?
Of course, they'll look at that number and be like, okay, back to usual as always. But for Friday, I think that's the show they care the most about.
But for advertising purposes, I really think that there is. I have to do the research to see how many subscribers, because I know Amazon, they're building their streaming outlet. They're really tied to seeing how everything goes with the NFL with Thursday Night Football.
Right.
So I'm wondering if they believe that if they do buy into WWE, that they're hitching their ride onto the fact that with the success that NFL football has been doing, that WWE can bring in some viewership as well. Right. Disney, everybody goes, well, Disney's Disney. In case you haven't noticed, like Disney's tied to like a lot of shit.
All your favorites.
ESPN,
DC, Marvel stuff,
ABC. Disney has their hand in so many fucking networks and other things that
a lot of hands in cookie jars.
I don't see where that would be a problem, but I still want to know, like, how would that work with advertising and with connecting with because right now, if the biggest one would be Disney, because I think they're like well over into that, and you could quote me if I'm wrong, but I think they're well over into 10 million American wise of subscribers. So
we have to ask.
Yeah, I would have to see.
We have to ask Mr. Disney himself.
Ask Disney.
But so it would be like the WWE Network on Disney Plus.
Most likely the network or just SmackDown.
Oh, okay. I was going to say if they get WWE in total, they have to go through a lot of stuff because there's a lot of stuff you can't put on Disney.
I don't know. There's still
a lot
something.
of language, a lot of titties.
I mean, does WWE really show titties? I mean, they don't really show titties.
Let's go through the Attitude Era, sir.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a different library.
Okay.
So right now, Jesus Christ, I was way off. In the third quarter of the number of
100 million.
Oh yeah, shit, I'm like to 10 million. Look at me,
way off.
But I'm thinking but since it's launched in 2019, I was thinking like just like national shit. It's a 146.7 million. Yeah. Oh yeah, WWE could say fuck off to anybody if they get signed to Disney. They could say fuck off to anybody if they did that. No, definitely. That's
it'd be interesting to see how it works at least.
Right.
At least what they give them.
So that'll be interesting to say the least. Mm-hmm. Congratulations to Becky Lynch. She pulls in the NXT Women's Championship. Spoiler alert.
Everybody goes mad.
Everybody's angry.
Main roster bitch just won the NXT title. It's a developmental show, isn't it? I thought we were supposed to develop the women.
You are. You're going to develop the women to chase. Right. And that's what happens.
And also you want to sell out your next pay-per-view for NXT, and Becky Lynch is a draw.
Speaking of which, NXT has been drawing higher numbers as of late, ratings-wise, since we were talking ratings. They've been drawing over 650,000 viewers as per their usual, which was hovering around 550, 560. So now there's a little bit more eyes to the product, which you want to do.
Correct.
And
well, let's be real here. Let's look at the people that they're putting on the show. The Judgment Day, Becky Lynch.
You
Rey
kill the
Mysterio.
momentum from young talent. How? Explain. Because to me,
Dominic Mysterio is a champion, and he's
young talent.
He's learning as well as these people.
He's young talent. Yeah. Becky goes down there, brings
Becky
eyes.
beating Tiffany Stratton. I think in the long run, hopefully, she just drops it back to her at the next show.
Right.
If that's the plan.
It's just to
or do a triple threat or however way they take the belt off Becky. But this was just another milestone for Becky to get.
Like I could have taken it heads or tails. Like I really wouldn't have cared.
Right.
But at the same time, that synergy had needed to be done a long time ago to ensure we saw the teasing of it, the Survivor Series years ago, where NXT pretty much cleaned up the board with the main talent.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think that was when they were beating AEW in the ratings.
Right. And
AEW was beating them, whichever way you want to fucking phrase it.
And it went nowhere.
Right.
So because of course the old man in charge
gave up
and was not going to allow the NXT talent to outshine the main roster. That was the year
like Shayna Baszler was the NXT champion. She won the main event at Survivor Series. They had Keith Lee go toe-to-toe with Roman Reigns and look strong.
Right.
And then it all fucking fell apart.
Yeah, that's what you call enhancing talent.
Right.
So I think if you do it the other way, it's the same thing.
Remember, it was supposedly going to be Adam Cole versus The Fiend versus Brock because they were all the champions at the time.
Hey, remember when they couldn't come back from Saudi Arabia? And
the NXT took over Friday Night SmackDown, and actually was a really great show.
Yeah, I call that enhancing talent.
Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan in the main event.
Right.
I still like that episode of SmackDown.
Of course. That's a good SmackDown to go back and watch. That's actually a really good episode to go and watch. To me, like I said, I wouldn't expect Becky to run the gauntlet and become the Roman Reigns of NXT.
And look at it like this. Tiffany doesn't have the belt anymore. She can now be called up to the main roster, and Becky could drop the belt to, say, Cora Jade or Lyra Valkyria, somebody else in NXT that's ready for the title.
Right. So, in any case, you could still say that they're
Tiffany Stratton has a brighter future than the NXT. Let's be real.
Oh, no. She's
a project that they've been working on, and she's developed really well.
This is the one that they're going to say, Mandy, you dropped the ball. We're going to give it to her.
Correct.
Yeah, so I don't see why.
And then when we talk about a certain other women jumping ship,
when we get to that, we'll get to that soon.
It'll be an interesting little thing,
right? Hey, guess who else I heard fudges the numbers when it comes to their attendance?
You've been waiting all week for this.
Oh, indubitably. So, pretty much, there was this big hubbub
about the attendance for All In.
Oh, my goodness gracious. And which, by the way, like I said, not to take anything away from it, the numbers itself, it's still a remarkable number to draw for a wrestling event. Not to take anything away from that. I am not going to sit there and denigrate that. That is a phenomenal task.
What number are you saying that about? 80,000 or 70,000?
You see, you really don't know. I was getting to the build up to it. I was getting there. Pace yourself. You have to pace. So, regardless, it's still a remarkable number to draw for a wrestling.
There were people in attendance.
Of course. Phenomenal numbers, ridiculous numbers for that. I commend them for doing that because I was the one who laughed hysterically when they fucking said they were going to do Wembley. Mm-hmm. And once I saw that,
you were one of the critics that said, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Oh hell yeah!
You are not filling that building.
And I ate crow with a little bit of salt and a little bit of ketchup, and I ate the crow, and I said, "You know what? Congratulations to them." Mm-hmm. So the number that they initially reported was the 80,000 number, right?
Yep, 80,000 tickets sold.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then on the
no, was it 80,000 sold and in attendance?
No, they said 80,000 tickets have been sold, and then in attendance they announced 81,390 something.
Okay, so
we're getting a phone call, but it's not.
I'm gonna, but talk about it for a second. Get into it.
Well, really, AEW All In, they announced the whole show. Nothing announced on the card. 80,000 tickets sold.
Hello?
81,000. I am trying to stall it as best as I can. False number, maybe.
No. Yeah, so
bad at stalling.
So what was announced was
82,396 or some shit like that.
And
I may be close to the actual fake number.
And as per the recording of a
the Sun.
No, it was a
Let's make sure we say the right thing before people get more mad at you.
Yeah.
Which news article wrote the real number?
Who does this? Shout out to Henry. Henry's hilarious with that.
I never heard of him.
So
yeah, because you're fucking here.
Google. Just go to Google. So, as per the Freedom of Information Office for the Brent Civic Center issued the following statement. The actual numbers registered entering Wembley Stadium through the turnstiles was 72,265. This is a reflective of what attended of the night and the total number of tickets sold or no-shows, etc. Mm-hmm. Total. Correct. The turnstile count for WWE's WrestleMania 32 pay-per-view of 2016 was 80,709. As confirmed by the Arlington Police, WWE announced the attendance of the night to be 101,763, which Vince said included ushers and ticket takers. So he inflated it.
By 20,000.
No, he inflated it by 21,000. By 21,000. Yeah. By 21,000. So
okay.
I say that as like I mentioned, although it's a remarkable number that was drawn by the company. Yeah, people inflate their numbers too. And
it's not just WWE.
Right. And
which somebody said perfectly, when WWE inflates their numbers, boo. When AEW does it,
but you gotta understand.
Why don't you do that?
There's a certain thing. And then there's even reports that Tony Khan actually bought 10,000 tickets himself.
Just looking on the camera, it looks like you're pretty much doing the Kermit meme. Sipping the tea like, I didn't say anything.
Oh, poor Will Ospreay putting that attendance number.
Right, and then he goes on live, he goes, the fuck, mate. The fuck, mate.
Jesus. But, yeah, like I said, still a remarkable number, but come on. Come on, guys.
So 8,000 compared to 20,000.
Right. Still great. Still great numbers. Is Jade Cargill done with AEW?
Reportedly, yes.
As supposedly to be reported, yeah.
Yeah, even on the way here, I just saw the newest thing that PW Insider reports that she is scheduled to make her. She is reported to go to the Performance Center this week, as of this week.
Okay, so I've been a big critic of Jade Cargill, humongous critic of her, and I've often said that she needs to be trained. I mean, legitimately sat down and trained.
Not just in ring sessions with Brian.
Right? No, she needs to sit down and do the motion. She has to go through it. Regal is there now. You got some talented talent. Biff Busick is there. You got a few.
Albert.
Albert is there.
He's a big guy. He's a big guy. She's a big woman. He could teach her some moves she could do.
I think Rip Rogers. I think he's the one. He's still there. I think he's still there.
Okay.
So I think there's talent.
There's people there that know what they could do.
And they could work with her.
Right.
People are already alluding to that she is probably going to skip NXT and go to the main roster. I think that'll be foolish at this time because the women's division in NXT would, not to say that's really needed, but it would be a nice body and presence to have there.
The only thing I would say if she does skip NXT is if she goes to the main roster and joins Lashley's group.
Right.
Right off the bat, like she goes in and destroys the women's division and she aligns with Bobby, the Street Profits, something like that.
So,
but like I was telling Henry in the group chat that we're in, I was like, if she goes to NXT and she works with all these newer girls, they can all develop chemistry with each other. They all practice their matches.
You're right. Respect the craft. Steve Corino would definitely teach it away.
Yeah,
exactly. Corino would definitely help her out through that.
All respect to Bryan Danielson and all those guys in AEW, but they're teaching her like some of the basics and then showing her some of this like crazy shit that they think would look cool in her matches.
But the other thing, and that's the other thing too.
Where in NXT they show her, okay, this is how we want you to like stand, like how like show like your presence. Because let's be real, in AEW, all Jade Cargill does is boots. Just say the word bitch, and that's it.
I think that the same that they did with Bianca, they're going to do with her, and probably 2 times more.
Yeah, Jade Cargill will probably be the successor to Bianca.
Right.
Even though Bianca's still young and she's still like many years to go.
I think that there's a lot to do there. And they're going to do it, like I said, they do it 2 times more because Bianca came in and she was already athletic.
Right.
With Jade, she has the body, she has the look, but it's now
professional bodybuilder
to tone her up and get her in ring shape, as in cardio wise, work wise, to get her totally prepared to how to work wrestling. Sports entertainment,
the same thing we were saying with
or what you want to call it.
Same thing we were saying with Nia Jax. No woman looks like this.
Right.
Like Jade Cargill has a fucking 8-pack. Like she looks incredible. It's just that a lot of things is her ring work and her mic skills.
Right. So let's see how that's going to roll out if this does occur, because
they have her and Brian Pillman Jr.
Right.
He's about to hopefully debut soon. I'm going to say.
You see how many times you see how everybody gets excited to see how everybody goes from WWE to AEW. Yeah. So let's see what's the carryover from the other side of the grass, you know?
Yeah, quick little prediction. I think Pillman will debut this year. Cargill will definitely be a new debuting in 2024.
I would probably think
by January, February.
I think a little bit sooner, but we'll see. Yeah. Elias is a free agent?
Mm-hmm.
Or Ezekiel, which one?
Oh, get the fuck out of here. The whole family's released.
I feel bad.
Are you slightly shocked about this?
No, I'm
or
not.
Care?
I'm not, and I kind of feel bad for him because I think there's talent there as a worker. He's actually good. I think the gimmick was working at one point in time.
The gimmick of just playing a guitar,
the guitar, and the
random albums that he be putting out actually made some money for them.
Right. I thought that worked but I think the Vince element kind of burnt him.
He was definitely a Vince thing.
Yeah, I think that kind of.
I mean, remember when he first debuted? He was like, he was projected into the main event scene, like feuding with Cena, Braun, Brock. Like he was fucking up there.
Yeah, so I think that
even like they turned him babyface, that didn't work at all. So he was pretty much a full blown heel for the rest of his life.
Right. I just think I think that maybe him spreading his wings and going somewhere else could help him out. Maybe Impact.
Impact would definitely give him.
Impact would definitely be a spot for him, and it's not a bad thing.
Like, it'd be interesting what name he chooses.
He'll be Ethaniel or something like that. Ethaniel.
Oh my God.
Or some shit like that. But good luck to him if this is true. Like it, I hope the best for him actually, because he's like I said, he's
also
actually a
with
good
him
worker.
recently posting, he like recently got baptized. Like,
Yeah.
he was somewhere. Like the timing of all this sucked too with the merger.
Made me think because I would have thought that he could have actually worked alongside Bray. There was something that could have played with that as well. He could have
been like a disciple.
Yeah, something like that. He would have been actually cool with that. 100.
Speaking of more releases,
big releases were done this past week. Since the merger, there was the 100 executive and board managerial positions that were
one
released.
notable one too.
Dana Warrior was released, and she had been with the company since I believe 2013 or something like that. A little bit longer.
When Warrior came back,
a little bit shorter. Yeah. So
they did the Vicky thing with her. They gave her a sympathy job.
yeah, and she was part of the Warriors Foundation committee and all that.
She would appear every year. They did the Warrior Award,
and then they put a part of creative. What?
What if she knew?
Oh, fuck knows. I don't know. So
see, when Jay's on the show and he asks for new people, they give you Dana Warrior, and then you still go, "What? That's not the new blood I want."
Yeah, no. Let's
old blood.
Let's go in LinkedIn and find other resumes.
Do you not realize who she was married to?
Yeah.
Who she listened to for all those years?
Yeah, we're not doing that. But this is part of what everybody was worried about was with talent being released. But
that's coming.
So far, there have been talks that everybody seems to be okay so far. But
pretty much office people,
right?
Let go.
Weight classes for WWE. There is talks that the WWE will be bringing back weight classes, junior heavyweights, cruiserweights, and such. And
guess what that means?
More belts! Yay! Jay likes this. Jay likes this. Jay wants everybody to get a belt. Yay! You get a belt, and you get a belt, and you get a belt.
You know what that sounds like? It sounds like pity.
It sounds like gives more eyes to the
when
product.
Dana Brooke goes on Twitter and says, "I fucking work hard, you assholes," when they're chanting "Leave," it's like, here, you get a belt now, Dana. Have fun.
Hey, listen, you put lighter. Nobody said anything when WCW had cruiserweight titles. Nobody said anything when they had TV titles. Nobody said any of that. Yeah,
that's not the thing.
What's that? Why is that not the thing?
How many belts are there currently in WWE, Jay?
No, let's think about it.
Main roster.
You have the WWE title. You have the Undisputed title.
You have the World Heavyweight title.
You have the World Heavyweight title. No,
3 world titles, but continue.
What 3 world titles?
The Universal and WWE titles.
No, the Undisputed title.
Okay, sure.
Because they put those, and it's the world title.
In some cases, you can make 3, but let's count 2.
Okay.
2 world titles.
The U.S.
Correct.
Intercontinental.
2 mid cards.
That's 2 mid cards. Okay, that's 4.
1 set of men's tag belts,
which they're talking about that they're going to be splitting up soon. Okay.
1 set of women's tag belts.
That's 1. Okay.
And a women's world title.
Okay, that's 8.
2 women's titles.
Okay, that's 9. 9. Okay.
So how many more do you want to fucking add? 5?
Get a TV title. That's fun. Like I said, get a cruiserweight title. That's fun.
Okay, but then addition and subtraction. You could get rid of the U.S. title and get a TV title.
That's never going to happen.
Hold on.
That's never going to happen.
You could do hypothetically, in my opinion, you scrap the U.S. title and get the cruiserweight title or men's TV title. You have Rhea and Io do a unification match for 1 women's world title, and then The other one can get, and then introduce a women's TV title.
But once again, then once you do that, then you're getting rid of the brand split, which you want anyway.
Correct.
So that's not going to happen.
At this point, you want the brand split gone too.
No, I don't. I'm fine with the brand split. I'm fine with it.
That's what actually is the brand split.
No, I'm fine with it. But once again, nobody said anything when WCW did it. They had cruiserweight titles. They had TV titles. They had the U.S. Championship. They had freaking cruiserweight tag titles. They had a bunch of shit.
The cruiserweight tag titles was when they were dying.
Doesn't even matter.
That was a last ditch effort.
They had tons of belts as well.
Okay.
AEW has
every belt under the sun.
Exactly.
All right.
So, okay, at least it gives people. In
AEW, it's more egregious. I will say that.
My whole
because
thing
they have another brand along with it.
If you do something that makes sense to make the stories more about the thought of having, a large roster that they have, and you make a story that makes sense to have reasons for these titles, I get that.
Right.
Then do it. You're just not having a random match with fucking with Dijak and fucking Jonah or whatever the fuck his name is these days for nothing.
Big Bronson.
Yeah, it doesn't. You make stories make sense, relevant for these titles. Put the category, and if you do the weight classes, then they'll do power rankings. It doesn't have to be rankings like how AEW was supposed to be doing with fucking
they gave up on that finally.
Right. If you just did power rankings, it would make a little bit more sense. So,
but then with that was them splitting everybody up by weight classes. Then your Finn Balor's, like your smaller dudes, are not competing in the main events anymore.
But they did it though. But here's the thing: they used to have the weight class at 225.
Correct.
That was you considered heavyweight, right?
Right.
So if you drop it down
to say like 200,
210 maybe, or
the 205 thing,
right?
Did.
If you did that, then
Finn's not going to be competing for the world title anymore.
So
Rey Mysterio, it will be relegated to that,
right? Yeah. So that would be fun to do. Like I said, it'd
be interesting to see how long it lasts.
And
see if it works.
It only sounds silly when they do stupid shit like the fucking 24/7 title. Get that shit out of here. That's bullshit. That was only bringing nostalgia for people who love the hardcore title. You know who loved the hardcore title? The fucking Attitude Era people.
Right.
I hated that fucking belt. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was dumb. I always found it stupid.
There were some
silly
highlights of it though back in the day when like they fighting in the Mississippi River or going through.
You were pinning somebody while they were sleeping.
Pretty much, yeah.
That was fucking. You talk about the. By the way, guys,
they were thinking outside the box. Let's give them that.
I want to let you guys in a little secret. I wasn't a big fan of the Attitude Era. I was not a big fan of the Attitude Era.
Jay was a new generation guy.
No, I maybe
he liked the job.
I thought it was desperate. I really thought that it was desperate.
Hopper was his favorite growing up.
Oh no, it was the Goon. The Goon was my guy. The Goon was my guy. No, the Attitude Era was just nothing. Just a grab at what ECW was doing. That's to me. That's what it was. But.
That's fair.
But
but back to this, where everybody's gonna be split up into weights and everything like that. So let's say for the women, there's two bigger women compared to everybody else. Not Rhea Ripley, Nia Jax and Piper Niven.
But you have
are they just competing against each other forever?
But there's no women's heavyweight title.
But what if they introduce that?
They're just women.
Because then you have then the small women like Zelina Vega, Candice LeRae, Alexa Bliss all fight against each other.
They're just women. Just a women's title. Just women.
You just sound so sexist.
I know, and I know, and a lot of people say that you are, and I could come off that way, but it's true.
There's small women, there's medium women, and there's two big women.
Just women. That's it. It's just women.
But that's what everybody's gonna have a problem with then, because then why are you putting them?
I'm not gonna. I don't care about weight class for women. It makes no sense to me. I don't care about
playing devil's advocate. People are gonna say, why are there weight classes for the men and not for the women?
Because there's a world heavyweight title, and then there's an undisputed title. There's the word heavyweight that's in that title.
But you see what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
Because in UFC, there's weight classes in different divisions for the women. So
right.
But why can't WWE do that?
Right. Because there's a difference between in UFC's fighting as opposed to what wrestling does. There's a difference into that. Mm-hmm. And with the WWE, when it comes to weight class with women, there is no weight class. Women fight women. That's it. It's done.
There's different sizes of women on the WWE roster, though.
All right, so you want to put a flyweight for them? Okay, put a flyweight.
That's
for
what I'm saying. If what you're reading is what they might do,
but it's not for women. It's not for women. It's for the men. It's not for the women.
And then again, devil's advocate, the fans would be like,
who's devil's advocate? Who's pitching for that? Nobody's pitching for that.
This could be a group of people that fight for.
Nia Jax will be in the only women's division for heavyweights.
Her and Piper Niven.
Okay, and that's it.
And then you have women like Rhea, Raquel.
Nobody cares about
Indy Hartwell,
that.
No, I'm just saying, there's people that do.
Who would care? Anybody who cares about the women's
Twitter
division
wants to speak up at Turnbuckle Tab.
Shit, nobody's caring about a women having that class. God, that's ridiculous.
I mean, weight classes for the men, and then we're supposed to believe Alexa Bliss can beat Piper Niven.
Sure, why not? It's wrestling. We can believe
because
that.
They're all the same, even though one's 100 pounds bigger than the other one.
You're the best around. No one's gonna ever keep it down. AEW.
What now with them?
To Max, there's talks that there's a possibility that the Discovery company is looking to possibly take AEW and place them on the Max network. We were just discussing about
it's always funny
SmackDown going to Disney or Amazon.
It's always funny when like you talk about or other podcasts talk about like streaming services for AEW. They have one under their fucking belt, and they call it Ring of Honor.
And nobody's buying into that shit.
You can't re-fucking brand it and give them exclusive AEW content, like backstage stuff, interviews. You use it for Ring of Honor.
Yeah. And then with that
to
talk,
me, that sounds so silly.
And with that talk, there's the talk of bringing pay-per-views, 12 of them a year for AEW. I kind of like that format though.
Every 2 months.
Yeah, I like the every 3 months. I like the four.
I'd be fine with the 6 if it's
well. They could do their specials like they'll do Wrestle Dream or
right, like,
or Forbidden Kingdom or like that.
Because Wrestle Kingdom
or Forbidden Door. Forbidden Door. Like I'm okay with that.
So if they do 6 a year, let's say,
right,
it'd be Wrestle Dream, Revolution, not in particular order of how they do it currently, but right. Wrestle Dream, Full Gear, Revolution, Double or Nothing, All In, and All Out.
Right.
Those would be the 6 main ones.
Yeah.
But the problem is then you have to separate them all in a 2 month span.
I think you were really...
And then you do TV specials like you Fight for the Fallens or Winterfest type of thing.
I think they'll pigeonhole Tony Khan's creativity if you only give him a 3-week cycle to make storylines make sense for the next pay-per-view.
Also tell them don't use your go-home show to book all your matches.
Right. So I find that'll be interesting.
Which I think is the one critique that he needs.
Right.
I'm a little nervous. What's this one?
PWI has released their 500 list. The PWI has dropped their 500 list. And wow, was there some doozies on this list, ladies and gentlemen. What was the critique for the...
Oh, shit, I read it out to you before.
Yeah, it was...
win-loss record, major feuds, level of competition in said company, and like all that nonsense.
Okay, so...
And then like popularity to the extent of the company.
Just the shocker for me on this list were who were the top 2. I was amazed that they did this year.
So do you want to go to? Let's start from you. Because you have the list.
I'll do the top 10 first, and then we'll go down to like the shockers that I have there. Okay, so number 1 was Seth Rollins. 2 was Roman. 2 WWE guys on this list. That top. Whoa, shocker.
Number 3,
Jon Moxley.
Stop right there. The Shield are on the top 3.
Ain't that something? Yeah. The Shield on the top 3.
10 years after the group debuted, and they're all in the top 3 of the wrestling business.
Which goes to say something, because at the end of the day,
each on a different brand, technically,
right? But at the end of the day, if you want to draw straws about this or whatever, WWE was right
with the two.
with the talents that they picked.
Yeah,
So, 4 is Gunta.
that's fair.
5 is Hijo de Vikingo.
Fuck it.
That to
Fine.
me, that was no, it wasn't fine for me because MJF at 6,
Okay, yeah.
Okada at 7. That's a little bit too high for me.
I'll explain. I'll give a reason why Okada shouldn't be higher than another person. But go on.
Orange Cassidy at 8. Mm-hmm. Josh Alexander at 9. Cody at 10.
Okay.
What do you have?
And
Who should have been moved around?
if we're doing by win-loss records,
Then
Sonata should be above Okada because he's the fucking world champion. Then you have Will Ospreay, who's been having banger matches. Older.
who was at 17?
Correct. Who's that's ridiculous. I think out of the 10, Orange, Josh, and Vikingo are too high.
Right.
Vikingo, you can make a case because he's the AAA champion. He should at least 10 or 11. He's like trying to crack the 10. At least that'd be fair.
I would love to know where he was at last year.
I think he was 7.
Really?
He was in the top 10 last year. I remember us talking about this too because I was like, who the fuck is El Hijo Vikingo?
Hijo Vikingo.
Yeah. But because I think last year Roman was 1 too, and everybody was bitching about that one.
Right.
Right. But yeah. So Josh, Orange, and Vikingo are way too high. I think guys like Ospreay, mostly Ospreay off the top of my head, I could think of that should have been in the top 10. And Sonata.
Sonata's at 11.
Like Sonata and Vikingo should be fighting for like the 8 and 9 spot.
Sonata's at 11.
The 10 and 9 spot.
At 15, Masha Slamovich. Okay. Here comes the sexism. Here comes the sexism again. Mm-hmm. Don't you have your own list?
Meanwhile, Jay loves the women.
Don't you? Oh, I love the women.
Yeah, just women's wrestling.
I would wrestle Masha Slamovich in my room. But my dear, y'all have your own list. I don't see any men on y'all list.
Sonny Kiss, technically.
Okay. Sonny's on this list too.
Yeah.
Masha Slamovich is at 15.
And you went through the list. She's the only only female on this list?
No. There's
others,
there's
right?
other females here. But you mean to tell me that Masha Slamovich is better than Bryan Danielson at 16, Will Ospreay
That's another
at
thing
17.
too. I would have put Danielson in the top 10.
Bryan Danielson at 16, Will Ospreay at 17,
right?
Kevin Owens at 21, Sami Zayn at 22. Both of these individuals have remarkable years.
And were part of the best storyline in wrestling.
Kenny Omega at 25.
The best wrestler allegedly in the generation.
Matt Cardona at 31, who's having probably the best indie year that a lot of wrestlers haven't seen since maybe Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Kane, fuck off. he's at 34, fuck off. She's better than Zack Sabre Jr.,
mm-hmm.
Solo Sikoa.
Better than Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Braun Breaker.
Who's having a great resurgence. Like this new heel run. She's better than him.
She's better than Ricky Starks at 43. Austin Theory at 45.
That's fair. Theory sucks.
Right.
It's John Cena, then does nothing. Fuck off.
I'm like, okay.
She's better than Solo Sikoa.
Well, I'm glad she's better than Wheeler Yuta at 63. Oh. I'm glad she's better than him. Daniel Garcia at 69. Nice. Damian at 71. Damian's having Priest. A fucking year.
Yeah.
And you got at 70. We got him at
Mr.
71.
Money, Senior Money in the Bank.
I didn't even notice I didn't even mention if Rhea Ripley was on this list since you put women on here. She's better than Rhea Ripley?
I guess so.
Wow.
She's better than Bianca. She's better than, I guess, you don't say her name, but Mercedes Moné. She's better than her.
Wow. Pac is at 90.
Okay.
Dominic Mysterio, congratulations.
Dominic is at 94.
He's at 94. Kudos to him.
Meanwhile, I think he was like in the 200s last year.
Right. Hook at 103. I love when you get lower down to the list because you start seeing people's names and you're like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Jordan Oliver made 114.
Good for him.
Granted, I like him. He was been on the show or whatever, but 114? Come on.
But with that reaction, are you saying higher or lower?
He should have been lower. I mean, honestly.
Okay. Just not with his talent, just compared to everyone else.
He beat LA Knight at 130.
LA Knight is 130, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Joey Janela, 138.
That one pisses you off.
Wow. The Miz at 141.
Really?
Buddy Matthews at 143. Shout out to Darius Carter at 144. Mm-hmm. Nick Wayne at 147. Listen, I'm sorry, guys.
Bright future, but
I don't see the hype.
Not yet.
I don't see the hype at all. When you got everybody named Mother in AEW doing the same shit that he does,
he doesn't stand out.
Yeah, he doesn't really.
Not at all.
Mance Warner at 157. I like the dude, but come on.
Fuck him.
It's a little bit too high for me, ladies and gentlemen. Matt Riddle at 164.
What? What did he do the past year that was impressive to get in the hundreds?
Nick Gage at 175. Fuck off. Come on.
Dominoes don't approve.
Casey Navarro at 182. Tyler Bate at 183.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like Thomas Latimer. We should have thought so. Shout out to the fam. My boy Homicide at 191. By the way, HOG, you owe the man one. Y'all fucked up his name in that graphic, man. Y'all spelled his name so wrong.
How'd they spell it?
HOMO side.
Homo side?
Yeah.
You should have brought a sign that saying homo side.
Nah, because that was played during the show. It was played during the graphics for the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so y'all owe an apology to that, man. But I'm gonna click the link and I'm gonna put it on the.
Well, you brought up who was 500. So who was the last wrestler on? The
list?
I
gotta pull the 500. It's like the
NXT dude, Andre Chase.
Yeah, Andre Chase was 500.
Wow.
He's the Tom Brady of this list for this year. But yeah, shout out to one of the homegirls that I know who's in the NDC. She made it at 496. Anastasia Morningstar. I was like, wow, really? Okay. Okay. But other than that, congratulations to everybody who made the list. Yay. And gonna post the link onto the Turnbuckle Tabloid page so you guys can check it out and see if any of your favorites made the list as well. And with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap it up here on the Facebook page and more to come for the podcasting side. So, guys, don't go anywhere. Stick around. Much to talk about. See you guys in a second.
Mm-hmm. What's up, everybody? It's Brad Williams, and you are listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Pardon me for not doing this for the past couple of weeks, but I've been mentioning on this episode for the 1,000th of time. There's been a lot going on, but I had to make sure that I carried over this segment because it's been such a positive and big responsive segment of the show. So I figured, I said, why not just go at it anyway and just whatever I felt a couple of weeks ago didn't change for me this week. So with that being said, I have to tell you guys who I figure are my heels of the week. Coming in at the number 3 spot, Greg Hamilton. You guys know who he is, right? Greg Hamilton used to be the ring announcer for WWE. He was released not too long ago from the company, and he had said some disparaging remarks about the company during his release, and apparently after the untimely demise of Bray Wyatt, Greg Hamilton went to X to share his condolences on the situation, but also shared his thoughts about him using this as his advantage to try to get back into the company, and then basically was begging for his job back during his tweet on the time of Bray's death. Bro, really? This is what we're doing at this time? This is not what we... No. Do what you do later on when you're begging and groveling for the job. Jesus. Talk about trying to take advantage of a situation for yourself. Woof. In the second spot, the person who told Devon Dudley that he didn't like him because he was black. Yeah, I would have bumped this up to the number one spot if I knew who was the individual who said this. But since I don't, this is definitely a solid lock on 2. Devon Dudley recently discussed this on a podcast. And yeah, I believe it. Because there are certain individuals during the time of him coming into the business in WWE or where sometime during it, that this would have occurred, because there are individuals in that building who many have said has shared those same thoughts. I was more surprised the fact that, being a Brooklyn kid as Devon is, that he didn't put fist to mouth to said person, but he's a businessman. He's a man that does business, and he just handled it the way he did, and basically just took what was said and made sour lemons into fucking lemonade extraordinaire. So shout out to Devon for doing that. And finally, at the number one spot, Brian Alvarez. Jeez. You know, we do podcasts, we do articles, and some of us are just low-level people, and some of us are just on higher levels of it because they've been doing it longer, and people believe what they say is gospel. But Brian Alvarez had some advice to share because he thought that he was in the same level of a wrestler, his name being Austin Theory, excuse me. And with that advice, he was saying to him that you don't need to be doing the same thing that WWE is telling you. You need to change up what it is. Stop the nonsense that they're giving you. Don't you wish you were in that spot, sir? Because you did have a somewhat wrestling career. And how did that turn out for you? Look, Austin Theory is on a level that you may never, ever get to comprehend, because you will never get there. Same as me. And there's no way in point in time that I would think that I'm that obnoxious, and believe me, I can be obnoxious. But there's no way in shape or form that I would think that I would be that obnoxious to believe that, hey, I can give Austin Theory advice about changing your gimmick or not following the protocol of what WWE is giving you, when this kid is making thousands of, maybe about hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of dollars of doing what he does, still looks good, still has a, I don't know, following in some way, shape, or form, and a gimmick, storyline, and work ethic that you may never, ever know about. But thank you, Brian Alvarez, for you giving Austin Theory the advice that he may so desperately need, because without you, you wouldn't be the heel of the week. Hey, Brian, why don't you go tell Cody about what he's doing right now? Maybe that you could change up his whole gimmick and persona and make it better for him, right? Maybe. Get out of here, please.
This is Velvet 478, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
If you smell what the rock is cooking.
Around the square circle, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a minute. I've been able to sit and discuss what I've been watching, what I've been partaking in, and what have been digesting in wrestling. I've been doing a little bit too much of other things. Like I said, the new setup is in the building. Mm-hmm. A lot of lights, a lot more space, but still making a lot of more headway when it comes to the audio stuff. I actually hear the stuff a little bit more clearer now. Not to say that my last rig wasn't good, because it actually was a good one, but I said, got to step it up a notch, got to take it up another level, and that's what I did. Yeah, got to upgrade. So we got new mics, new headphones. Whole Milk is over there, impressed by everything.
Yep.
You're not hearing as much of the breathing.
Oh, great.
The echo canceling.
In respect
of the
to the people that complain to Jay about it, don't complain to me.
Less heavy breathing, sir. I was like, I'll tell him to work on that. But
meanwhile, it could be you fix and post.
Maybe not. I mean, come on. I like the whole natural aspect of the show.
Well, you could have it all natural or real when you could have the New York City traffic in the background. Not when somebody.
That's the ambiance.
When you're trying to tell somebody, don't breathe.
You can't get rid of the ambiance. That's one thing. That's all it says. I've often said that.
Like you just did.
Yeah, I could hit that's the cough button. That's what there's no such thing as the breathe button. There's just a cough button that's there.
But meanwhile, I'm just sitting here and I'm just like listening. And what am I supposed to do?
Do you ever hear the playback?
Sometimes.
No, what I do is I tell you, if it's just, you just lean back. Just lean back a little bit when you're ready to talk. But sometimes you're just sitting here.
And then people complain, we can't hear you when you
No. When you
back.
speak, it's different. When you get on it, it's fine. But it's when you're not.
Like I just heard somebody screaming outside.
Yeah, when you're not speaking, it's when you hear the.
I'll work on it, people.
What we watched, what we listened to, what we partook in wrestling this week. Catching up on a lot of my my wrestling. See the ambiance of hopefully with noise cancellation, it's actually being demonetized and removed at this time. So we shall see. Was listening to Kevin Nash's episode. Click This. I love that podcast. Not so much of Sean Oliver, because Sean could be a little bit unaware of what's going on in wrestling. And it's not really more of a wrestling podcast. It's more of a flavor for everything. It's a cornucopia of different subject matters. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to wrestling, Sean is like out of touch of what's going on. But Kev, I love Kev. I love his thoughts on wrestling, his belief on how the business is. And shout out to him and the fellas who were able to get the wrestlers of these days guaranteed money. But I think he was way off base with the CM Punk incident. He's actually clamoring for the thought process of saying that Punk might have some mental issues. And
what's wrong with that?
I don't see it that way. I don't see that Punk.
Oh, here we go.
I don't see it that Punk has mental issues.
A guy that goes off on people, and then when people go off on him, it triggers him, and he wants to choke people.
I don't think that's a mental issue. Okay. Yeah, I don't think.
Well, you work at a mental institution,
right? And that's what I'm saying. I don't see that as a mental issue. Do I see that as an ego? Yes. Do I see that as narcissism? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I don't see that as a mental issue. I don't see it as a mental health issue. I also see it as a fact that if he was such a cancer that everybody believes he is, why is it that he still has people on his side who follow the same kind of model that he does?
You could say the same thing about Paul Heyman. Remember when people say they used to drink the Kool-Aid?
Right. And
CM Punk has people drinking the Pepsi.
But Heyman, if you want to equate him to Heyman is a god. Everybody loves Heyman now.
Yeah, now, but back in the day when he was bouncing checks like fucking nothing.
Who hates Punk? Who hates Punk?
Oh, God.
No, I'm just saying, who hates Punk? Think of the people who hate Punk. Like, honestly. Do you think
it's like Vince, Triple H, those names?
They don't hate Punk. As a matter of fact,
those names come to the top of my head.
They don't hate Punk. They would do business with him tomorrow because they know it's money.
I know.
That's not it. If you hate somebody, that means you would never do business with them.
I guess the Bucks would be the only ones.
Bucks. Who
I wouldn't say Kenny. I would say Kenny's pretty much just like not.
Kenny's like Sweden. He's just like whatever. He's like Switzerland. Yeah. Like whatever. Eddie Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
Who else had heat with Punk?
Mox for a little bit.
Who?
Mox.
Okay. Okay. If any,
it just seems like there's a lot more haters than supporters.
Any of those, I don't see it that way either. I see a lot of people who said that they support him. They may not agree with how he handles business, but they appreciate it because they know that they're protecting the business. You know who a lot of people
or is it just blind loyalty to the fact that, like, with Punk's mentality, that if you fuck with him, he's like over something little, he'll cut you out of his life automatically.
I still don't say what's been little for what he was talking about. What was been the problem?
I don't know. It could be anything. Like,
yeah, but
if you say anything like out of turn with him, it just he makes it like something huge.
Okay, somebody who went out of turn with him. Cole Cabana.
Ryan Nemeth.
Cole Cabana lost him money.
Okay.
That's not turning out. He lost a best friend out of money.
Right. Okay. So that's one thing. But then I say
Ryan
Nemeth
tweets
something, and then this guy confronts him backstage like wanting to kill him.
But because of that, because of the Cole Cabana thing, he's got an allegiance of people who hate him because of an incident that happened between these two individuals who that was personal with them. Now all of a sudden it's, he's blackballing him out of AEW Ring of Honor. There's only one person that could blackball anybody out of fucking Ring of Honor or AEW, and that's Tony Khan. And if Tony Khan,
then it's weird that when Cole Cabana got named a full-time producer for the AEW, as soon as Punk gets fired.
Right. So once again, whose fault is that? That's not Punk's fault.
God only knows.
That's not Punk's fault. And if anything, that goes
to show Punk had any influence? Maybe.
But once again, who owns the company?
Yeah, but that's a different discussion on how Tony Khan runs his business.
Right.
On the people he trusts.
So if that would have been said, Cole had one or two things to do with it. Either fight for his job, fight for his position, or do like he did and was cry to whoever it was he cried to, who now all of a sudden bring Cole back fucking campaign. And by the way, what are we doing with Cole now? Nothing. All that for nothing. And the rest could be said about the whole mental health issue thing. No, like I said, is it narcissism? Yeah, he's a fucking asshole. Yes.
I mean, I think something's wrong with Punk? Maybe. Something like the way he conducts himself or the way he treats other people. Maybe. Do I think it could be mentally? I don't know. That's just what Kevin Nash said.
But no, what he said is that he says that there's a bullying.
Do I think there's probably I was talking with my friends the other day, and the way it comes off with these Punk stories, it comes off like he's about to put himself in the warrior category of people that just get banned for life.
But once again, do you have Ricky Starks, FTR, even people in WWE who would sit there and say MJF? You have other people and be like, I don't see anything's wrong with what he did. Like I still support the dude. I'm still with him. So is it because you don't like his tactics? Is it because, a lot of people who I think is because if you look at them, and you mentioned the Moxleys, the Young Bucks, the Eddie Kingstons, a lot of their mentality kind of fits in the same world of Punk's mentality, but except that, Punk does it more universally. I would say, whereas I think at certain individuals they do it more individually.
I would say, in like, if anything, they have something similar in is that they want to succeed and they want this to be the best thing, but they just have different visions of it.
I had a conversation with somebody.
Clashing of styles, I would say, is what the issue would be.
I had a conversation with somebody quite recently, and this is somebody who, if they would have had the same notoriety in the business as CM Punk, they would be equated in that same level of their mindset about the business and how things occur. And this is a person, and I keep him nameless because this is a person who's been in the business for so many years and has always stayed very under the radar when it comes to news stories and stuff like that. They didn't like it, but he's known to also be very stringent and tough when it comes to protecting the business or doing things right way. And in this conversation, he mentioned that he said that he was to have a match with somebody of a large reputation. I'll say this in the Japanese area, and he was to have a match with this individual. And he himself trained for this match for 6 to 8 weeks, got himself in real top 10 physical shape for this match. Right. Went to wrestle this person, and the person came into the match like if he was about to wrestle AEW Dark. And he took offense to that because he said, if you're going to come in the ring with me, you better be prepared for what you're coming in the ring for, because I'm not here to bullshit. I'm here to put on a match, and I'm going to put on a show for people in the arena. And he said, cold-heartedly and straight up to me, I was ready to beat the fuck out of this person. He says, I was ready to throw down and it says, regardless of this individual's reputation or if they had years ago, when you come to me, you come with me with the respect saying that you're going to come in the ring with me to wrestle. He said, the only reason why he didn't do it was because of where they were at, right, the environment. He says, but wholeheartedly, I was ready to take it to a shoot, right, because I think there's a lot of individuals, and like I said, like Eddie would think that way, Mox would think that way. These are guys who this is what I'm saying. Right. I don't think they don't think that far away. They don't think that far away from how Punk thinks. Right. I think it's just individualized.
Again, I think it's a clash of styles of how they want to do things. But I do like all due respect to the person you're talking to. I'm not discrediting him or whoever the hell it is. But I mean, when you associate that and then think of our own lives, we have jobs, real life jobs, and there's people that get under our skin, and we envision ourselves beating the shit out of them and getting away with it.
Right.
But in wrestling too, it's it just sounds insane because these other people have their own lives as well, and just because they do something you don't like or they say something out of turn doesn't mean it gives you the right to just say beat the shit out of them or try to choke them out or just do anything. You understand where I'm coming from?
I'll tell you this, okay? Because you come from a different world than I come from,
right?
Right. And even though I'm an older gentleman and I've grown older with maturity and wisdom and stuff like that. At the same time, if somebody is really trying to pull your card,
right,
and trying to get under your skin, after a while, you're going to go to an individual and be like, yo, what's your problem? Right. What's going on with you?
Yeah.
I've done that as recently as, maybe, a couple of weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just to tell somebody, listen, just because I'm this kind of person now doesn't mean that my old ways or my old thought process won't come back at any moment to check you. True. Because it can happen.
Yeah.
And I think what the Punk situation was that you prodded the bull way too much in certain aspects. And especially when it came to that, and we talked about it in the last episode where we was like, you didn't think Jack Perry didn't have an idea of what he was going to do at that moment. You knew that he was coming out after you guys.
In which moment? During the match when he pointed at the glass?
You saw the lineup on the lineup card. You knew that Punk and Joe were going to come out behind you. You knew that they were going to be in Gorilla. You knew that the monitors were there. Mm-hmm. He had the mindset of knowing that. You knew that.
Do you really think that?
Of course. Okay. Because you have you have that mentality of knowing that. You know that they had the next match coming. You knew already that the Dirts were already spilling the story of the glass situation, and with that,
and all Jack Perry wanted was a week off, and just to do an angle where he could go to Hawaii,
whatever the case, right?
That's what it was.
That's what it was, right? So, with that, you knew that the question was brought to Punk about, can you talk to this kid about the thoughts of him using the real glass?
Mm-hmm.
Why would anybody ask him to do that is far beyond for me to understand.
That I could agree with.
That I don't get.
Because unless Punk is an EVP of the company,
right,
or producer,
right,
then you go. He's the last person you would go to,
right. And this is why I said that. That's
why you hired guys like Chris Hero and
you had
Cole Cabana,
Jerry Lynn,
whoever the hell is in the building.
Jerry Lynn, whoever, right?
The closest producers you have, be like, listen, go talk to the kid, see what you can get out of him.
Why would you ask Punk to do that? Okay,
the guy who is storied to have a backstage temper with the smallest little things, or
right,
whatever.
So, and I had told you guys for the longest time, I had told you guys already that this kid was already
true.
He was building up to be a little shit. So that occurs, and then once again, he's in the match, and he bangs on the glass, and he's saying, "This real glass."
This ain't pussy shit.
You know, Cry Me a River, whatever, right?
Cry Me a River.
Cry Me a River.
Right.
Punk is there. He's getting prepared for the match. He's watching the match. He sees this going on. He sees the monitors are there.
Right.
And he's like, what the hell was that about?
Right.
So,
but the way I read it was somebody said that to him. Like,
there's three stories that's going on.
Correct. Yeah.
So
it's always.
But this is my
story, Perry's story, and then the truth.
The truth. And you know what the truth is? The video.
There's camera footage of this.
And you know what's not going to come out? The video. Because you know why?
You would hope TMZ fucking gets it,
but you know why it won't come out?
AEW won't allow it
because it will make AEW look bad.
Exactly.
And that would vindicate.
Because then the stuff of Punk flipping over monitors,
right,
and then the monitors.
Right.
Tony
You see what I'm saying?
If that's not shown, then Tony Khan just fired a man because of something.
And Mister, I was in danger of my life, and that because if you wanted
nothing we're saying. So what you're saying is wrong. I could respectfully disagree with something of the fact of. Do I think Jack Perry knew Punk was in Gorilla and was hoping he would see that? I don't buy that for a second.
Okay,
I can see him. Just think of let me see if I can get let me say this and then see what heat I could get, but not like that type of heat where somebody's is coming after me, pushing me, or trying to choke me out, or trying to punch me in the face. I don't believe that for a second.
All right, so and this is why I'm saying
that's hard to believe.
But this is what I'm saying: if AEW really wanted to bury CM Punk, that video footage would have come out.
Right.
But there's a reason why it's not. Yeah. So the way that they're making it seem as though Punk was the aggressor.
Correct. Meanwhile, it could have been Jack went to the back and shoved him and said, or do something, but we don't know.
Or maybe, like I said, or maybe Punk just, when he was coming through Gorilla, Punk went to him and probably, like I mentioned before.
I heard something.
Like he was
somebody said you said this.
Oh, he went up to you.
Talking about?
Oh, he was like, dude, what the hell was that about? Like even nothing crazy. And Punk was, Perry maybe was a little snide, little piece of shit, whatever. And probably said something back, or there was a miscommunication.
Which I could believe too. Like he just had a match. He's tired. He's probably like, who the hell are you?
Right.
Leave me alone.
So this is what I'm saying. Like there's something there that's not natural.
Punk shouldn't be the messenger or the person to go up to him and say that.
And the same thing that I could.
A producer should have grabbed him as soon as he went through Gorilla and said, "Come here before Punk sees you or something."
And the same could be said.
What's gonna happen?
And like I said, the same could be said about the All Out shit.
Right.
Punk took a heat from all that shit with the All Out shit. You know, the Bucks and Kenny got suspended for a time period or whatever. But Punk was the one that took the real aggressor look from it because of the comments that he made on the camera.
Ace as well.
Huh?
And Ace
as well. But
which in this case, Ace should have been. He should have never been brought back. There was no. The whole
once again, how did this happen?
The whole him staying home and doing everything by Zoom. That's not how you run a business.
And once again,
this ain't the fucking pandemic anymore.
The one person who is fucking at fault for all this is Khan, Tony Khan. So then my thing is now everybody talks about the cancer's gone. The cancer's gone
for now,
but you still got shit going on in that locker room that has not been cleared. There's still heat around everything.
You still have a women's locker room that seem to be snicking at each other every time they get a chance.
You have a roster that goes to that ring and does whatever the fuck they want.
Whatever they say if they don't say anything on script, then somebody has a problem with it.
That policy that they put together means nothing because they're fucking doing whatever the fuck they want anyway. So, I don't know. So other than that, of course, as always, Cornette is going to be Cornette. Corny's doing his thing. And I don't know. Is there anything you've been watching? Anything you've been catching up on? By the way, I finally got to finish watching the Cody documentary on Peacock. Really good, man. They did a really good job on that. I was very impressed that WWE allowed a lot of behind the scenes AEW footage and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I thought it was really cool because they always get chastised for trying to erase certain histories and stuff, but you can't tell the Cody's story without bringing that up. And I thought it was very gentleman-like for them to do that, to bring that up.
Right.
But I thought the job, it's always very, people always criticize as well that it's very dusty heavy, but That's what.
Dusty's kid.
Yeah, that's his life.
This is his gimmick.
Yeah, and that's what it is
in TV and in life.
Right. So it's.
I will say them bringing in Hulk Hogan as a talking head during the indie.
Yeah, there was
during the indie stuff. It was like Hulk Hogan never did a fucking indie in his life.
Well, I love that right now. Hogan is like on the blackball list of how much of a liar he.
We were talking about Wembley earlier when he tells the story of him at Wembley. And that dying kid, and he looked at it, and when he
oh god, yeah,
he said to himself, "If I don't see that kid, brother, he died." And then he wrote a bunch of songs in the background with Jimmy Hart and Simon Cowell.
Oh, dedicated to the kid.
Yeah, Jesus Christ,
so full of it.
And Joe Rogan sitting there like, yeah.
Hogan is just he's
the ultimate like carny mark.
Yeah, he's a walking gimmick. That's exactly what he is. He is a gimmick of life. That's what the fuck he is. But anything you've been watching? Anything that you've been listening to?
Pretty much the same old stuff as usual. I did want to mention, because we got to talk about like WWE and AEW and stuff. I did want to bring up that Impact just celebrated 1,000 episodes.
Congratulations to them, man.
So I did catch some of their stuff. It was very interesting stuff that they did.
Now, that's Impact separately, not collaborated with the whole TNA stuff.
Altogether.
It's just
Altogether.
Really?
Yeah. They included a lot of stuff from the early days. Yeah, altogether they've done 1,000 episodes.
Wow!
Not from when they did the pay-per-views weekly, but like the weekly episodic ones when they were like on Fox Sports or whatever the hell it was called.
Or Spike and all that stuff.
In the Spike days, yeah, all together.
So it's Impact and TNA.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow!
All under the same umbrella. 1,000 episodes.
How much was WWE? How much was Raw up to?
We're up to like 2,000.
Is it though?
I think so.
Yeah, because like I said, wow. Yeah, because TNA fully network wise, I believe it was in 03 that they got a network deal, something around
like
there.
Around 04. And
04, something like that.
And then 10 years afterwards, they got kicked off of Spike.
Yeah,
went
yeah.
to Destination America, and they went around.
You would think that, it should be around that. Wow. That's something. Congratulations to them, man. We saw the return of the Dudleys, Team 3D.
Yeah, even though Bully Ray's a heel currently, but they did the Team 3D thing. But no, I mean, they posted the full 20-minute clip of the knockouts, like talking about like Revolution, which you have your own opinion on that. But like when you have the women come out and talk about a revolution instead of like showing or making a revolution, I hate when they talk about it.
No, we
are a revolution.
I'll always say that the best era of women's wrestling for me was that TNA era.
The one in 07 with Kong and Gail.
Yeah, that whole 06 to 08, 09, around like that era, like around then.
With Gail Kim and Awesome Kong.
Also Kong, and even when
the beautiful people.
I was about to say the beautiful people.
This guy still
was it Roxy Bordeaux?
Roxy Laveau. The Voodoo Queen.
Voodoo. Yeah, they had great. The only one that fucking pissed me off was like that. When Raka Khan and who was Awesome Khan's manager?
Raisha Saeed.
Oh, shut up.
She was there too.
Shut up.
Meanwhile, she played a heel. Meanwhile, Awesome Khan's a babyface.
And she's
for this reunion.
And as a wrestler, because she was
Cheerleader
Melissa. She's a really good wrestler.
Yeah.
And for her to
silence.
Go down, silence.
You have to watch the OSW reviews. They're doing the main event mafia angle, and they rip on Raisha Saeed so badly.
I love it.
The rolling R's.
Yeah, I love it. But congratulations to them.
And we were talking about earlier about Don West and Mike Tenay. They also announced that Tracy Brooks, the original knockout, goes in the Hall of Fame for Bound for Glory.
Really?
Yeah, because they're doing, I think, Chicago for Bound for Glory this year.
Tracy Brooks, I always thought that she was sexy. I never thought of her as
the biggest boobs.
I never thought of her as a wrestler though. Like
she was the first knockout, really.
Yeah, but I never really thought of her.
When you think of early days TNA, she was pretty much the one that stayed the longest. Like Trinity didn't stay long.
The wife of
Frankie Kazarian.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to them, man. TNA went Impact is actually a fun. I could always
Can you remember how many times people thought this company was going to die?
They are the roaches of wrestling. They stay alive. Like they find a way. with GFW or any amalgamation that they transform to,
a lot of the
or
stuff
connected with
the reverse battle royal where people are fighting to get in the ring.
Yeah, that was a dumb gimmick.
The Feast or Fire gimmick. They
Yeah,
just did that
dumb.
now. I'm curious on what they're doing with that. But
Right.
But that was one of the things, and then also the NXT interesting little story developments. Wesley quit.
Right.
I don't know where that's going because he can't win a match. He's pissed off. He's taking time off. I think.
I'm thinking that
They're
might go.
he's going to join the main roster.
I'm thinking he might go to the main roster. I'm thinking that way.
Join up with Lashley.
If not Lashley,
that was one of the pitches.
yeah, or maybe we might see because MVP's been kind of quiet with his Amos thing. So
They've only been doing house shows.
yeah, so
And Omos is a free agent, as we remember.
right. So
He can go wherever he wants, but he doesn't show up anywhere.
yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing not seeing. Excuse me.
Also on NXT, Becky Lynch won the title. That was one of the things.
I'm also looking forward to reading or audio booking a book by Sean Oliver called Todd is God, which is the
I heard about this. The book where he tells he tells the real truth
of ECW.
Right.
I have that already saved in my library, so I'll let you guys know what would be my thoughts of that going through it. Mm-hmm. And other than that, man, what do we have for the past?
So let's start with WWE.
Oh, okay.
We're going to leave AEW last because there's a big event coming up here in the States.
Okay.
Where we live.
Well, Grand Slam is coming up.
That's next week.
Right.
So we'll bring that up at the end. We'll give our little predictions for that show because they have announced a card for 2 days.
Right.
So far. But let's start with Monday Night
Monday,
Raw.
Monday. You get Raw, you get Monday. Monday.
So storyline progression we start off with is with Jey Uso on Monday Night Raw.
Okay. We haven't spoken about this
In a while.
but I want
The last time I think we talked was when they did the split at
So,
SummerSlam.
what
where
is
I was
your-
pissed about it.
But what is your thoughts now of Jay on Raw?
Jay is more interesting than Jimmy Uso as a person to me. Character-wise, outside the ring. I feel more with Jay than I do with Jimmy.
Okay.
Like Jay conveys more emotion than Jimmy does. I think Jimmy just takes everything as a joke. He just laughs everything off. Like his reasoning is not like logical. Where Jay, you could see like he thinks about everything before he does anything. So I'll say that's the major difference between the two.
I think that I like the separation of them and what different avenues they're going to. Jay is playing the redemption road, whereas
Redemption babyface, where
He's
he
gonna
wants
be-
to do all the wrongs that his family has done.
and he is going to sit there and have to
Take the beatings.
exactly. He is going to go through every beating possible because he's going to be like, okay, for me
I deserve that.
yeah, and for you to trust me, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to fight all you guys and I like that. True. Jimmy is fighting his way back into the bloodline,
Which makes no sense.
but I think this is where it's gonna
At
be
the end of the
too.
day, they're gonna face a WrestleMania in
Right,
Philly.
it's gonna be that. It's gonna
Just that
be
until now, they need to do something. And
because
this is
I
the
think
story.
it's gonna be
this
more.
is the route they chose.
It's gonna be more. The line is gonna be like, because of you, I can't get back in the bloodline because you messed this up for me. I can't be part of the family, so we have to fight this out.
But to counterpoint, meanwhile, it's Jimmy, the one that started it.
Right.
Where he kicked Roman in the face like 3 times.
Right.
At Night of Champions.
So,
I mean, if they wanted to do a split and have them face a Mania, there was other ways of doing it. I think just including Roman and just because everybody keeps bringing up the quote, "I didn't want you to be like that, be like our asshole cousin." So why are you trying to align yourself back with your asshole cousin? Unless it's because you realize you're fucked without somebody,
right. M2 Inc. says that he likes Jimmy more as a promo
really.
as opposed to Jay, because Jay screams a lot. That's what he says.
I can see that, but like I said before, I see more emotion come out of Jay when he talks to Jay.
Right.
But we had Jay on Raw. They're doing like we were talking about redemption. Sammy forgives him, but Kevin's still iffy about it.
Right. Did they do the trade yet? Who's going to?
They have not announced that yet.
Okay.
We'll get into. You want to get into that now? Who do we think it's Cody?
No, I think they're splitting Sammy and Kevin.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that it's going to be Sammy.
What if it's Damian?
I think it's Sammy.
What if it's Damian Priest?
No, I think it's Sammy, and Sammy's going to go to SmackDown, and he's going to be the one that's going to be targeted by the Bloodline. And Jimmy's going to get into a storyline about that.
I feel like we've seen that's already done with him.
Right. It's either that or it'll be Kevin. One of them is going to go. I don't see.
I'll pick. I'm going to go on a limb and say Damian Priest.
I don't see. I think with Damian, there's a lot of stuff going on with the Judgment Day that's way too familiar with DX, which I'm not upset with. I'm not mad at that.
In what aspect?
Well, look at the formation of them. It's the three. It's Finn, Damian, Dominic, and Rhea.
And JD's trying to get in.
And Rhea, and then you get the JD that's coming in. And but the DX is China, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and X-Pac, whoever you want to say.
Right.
They have that. I think that they just took an old car and they shined it up, put a new engine in it, and they're making it look like it's a new thing.
Are you sick of them at this point?
No. I actually like it, and now that they're tag champions, I think it's a little bit fun because now on SmackDown they have a plethora of teams that's ready to get after their ass.
The Street Profits.
Yeah, so I'm glad because that tag team division needed rejuvenation.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't. Let's be real here. It's not the fault of Owens or Zayn. It's because of injuries and pretty much the booking.
Right.
I mean, let's be real here. They had one big match against Roman and Solo, and then they were pretty much plagued with injuries afterwards.
Yeah.
I will ask you this: you do get what the briefcase part? Like, do you get what the swerve will be with the briefcase?
Well, Finn took the contract that's in it.
Yeah. Well, they did a thing on YouTube where they showed Damian putting the briefcase, the contract in his new briefcase, but when the day comes, he's about to do it. The contract's not.
It's not in it. But which you need to explain.
Correct. You need to show it.
Right, because
in history they've never
shown what's in the box.
Correct.
What's in the box? Right. What's in the box?
Because JD said
seven reference.
Because JD specifically said you need to get rid of the briefcase, not the actual contract. But but they did the thing at the beginning of the show. Jey Uso and Kevin Owens against the Judgment Day tag match. Judgment Day get the win. More redemption for Jey Uso, which we'll get into later in the show, where Drew McIntyre wants to air out his frustrations with Jey Uso on next week's show, which is the announcement event. Which is logical because Jey Uso and his family pretty much cost Drew the title.
Right. So
Drew better turn heel soon because that's where I think this is hopefully going.
And I think this is where remember there were talks about Drew leaving and such. I think this is where this played a card because Drew sat there and said, like, you need to do something more with me. Mm-hmm. And
he's been face for a little too long now.
Drew, heel or face, it doesn't affect me here or there. Just as long as you got him in something that's a legitimate storyline, works for me. But now,
I do have an idea for him at WrestleMania.
So
if he sticks around,
so what will be? Well, apparently he signed a contract. So
all right, but so if you're gonna do him turning heel and him let's say by WrestleMania time, if he's challenging somebody for a match at WrestleMania, what would be his motivation? He challenges Brock Lesnar. What's his motivation? I beat you when there was no one around. I could do it again, and it counts when people all around.
Okay,
like a heel Drew versus a face Brock Lesnar. Because let's be real here. At the end of the day, Brock will be booked regardless if you like him or not.
Right.
And we prefer a face Brock over a heel one at this point.
And bringing in Brock just as that novelty match doesn't really hurt
Drew.
Drew or the match.
A heel
either.
Drew beating Brock would benefit him.
Because it's true that he won a match without an audience. I want everybody to see redemption. I want to see everybody
everybody's face when I kick your
when
ass.
I kick your ass. That's fine. I get that. I like that.
That's the rare match that we got once and never saw again. Importantly, on Monday Night Raw, we had the Gunther celebration where he celebrated him breaking the Honky Tonk Man's Intercontinental title reign.
Now,
first, Gunther in a suit is a win. is a solid win.
I was gonna say, right? Shout out to Gunther because I heard he lives out here too.
Yeah,
good dad. I gotta run into
our friend ran into him.
Yeah, we gotta run into him too. Shout out to Good Dad Angel. He ran into Gunther out here. I heard a lot of people complain like this is not part of Gunther's kind of gimmick. Why is it that he has this celebration of kind of promo and such like that? I was like, have you not seen him for the longest doing all these proclamations on the table? He's a very
I can see where people come
verbose
from.
person.
I can see where people come from because, like, on the Indies, he was breaking title records, but he was never like he wasn't stopping the show and saying, "You celebrate me now." Like he just proceeded on being the shit out of people. But let's remember, this is WWE. This is a new Walter. This is Gunther.
Yeah.
He does everything.
And I've graduated
he wants
to
people to
taking
respect him.
And I've graduated to calling him Gunther. Yeah. I'm okay with that.
I mean, shit, Walter and Gunther are two different people.
Exactly. But I was very much into this. I was good with it, especially when
Mr. Gable came
our
out.
friend came out. Mr. Gable came out.
Yeah,
Mr. Rank way lower than anybody should be ranked. I thought that was the most disappointing thing on the PWI 500, how low he was ranked.
Well, let's remember too, like this was the voting stuff is from a time span of like a certain month to this month, so in that time span maybe, but now with this new, like, obviously they're definitely giving him something.
Oh, I don't want to hear that bullshit. He's ranked lower than Masha Slamovich. It's like, come on.
So when Gable came out, he cut a great promo, basically the same one he did last week on WWE.com, where he says, like going in the ring, it's all fun business, but last week when you were chopping me in front of my kids and you asked them who's your daddy, I got pissed off, and this is more than the title. I'm just gonna kick your ass.
Once again, the the wrestling universe were I'm conflicted. Isn't he supposed to be a heel? He lost being a heel weeks ago.
Even when he was doing the shoes thing, it made sense because like Gunther was like, "Who the hell are you?" And he's like, "Shoosh," and then
and I think right now with
he's going like if you want like him to go fully babyface, he will once he beats Gunther. Because there will be a rematch.
I laugh because M2 Inc. He's like,
what does he think about this?
He's like, they're not doing enough with Gable. He's better than most of the roster. And this was like a few weeks ago.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, dude, give it time. The crowd is behind him.
He will be the one to dethrone Gunther.
It's happening. It's going to happen because Gunther cannot be a mid-card champion for too long.
Correct.
They have to bring him up. They have to elevate him.
They made him the longest reigning champion for a purpose. For a reason. They are going to boost him up. Mm-hmm. So don't worry about it. Gable, in my opinion, will be the one that will dethrone it because he will be that people's champion at that moment for it. Chad Gable with the Intercontinental Championship. Oh my God.
Yeah. And it makes...
I mean, if it was the U.S. Championship, it would be a little
makes
better
a little bit of sense,
with his background, but fuck it. The Intercontinental is a great consolation.
Yeah, and the Intercontinental Championship is the belt that everybody wanted. Cody wanted it. Miz wanted it. Dolph Ziggler wanted it.
And then the thing is with WWE is we have to hope that once Gable beats Gunther, they're able to keep the momentum for Gable.
And transition other people underneath it to go after.
Whoever's going to be the one to beat Gable has to be worthy.
The one thing that you will not have is a bad Chad Gable match. You're not going to have that. Unless,
that one with him and Otis against the Viking Raiders.
Right.
And that...
But I'm talking about even singles
right?
match.
But I'm saying like anything, like you can put him in a tag. He does great work in a singles. He performs better than you expect him.
Right. So
he's pretty much a mini Kurt Angle.
And that's not a disrespect. That's actually a compliment. So
right. McIntyre faced Xavier Woods after beaming. This is result of him beaming Xavier Woods in the head with a chair a few weeks ago.
Hilarious.
Gave him a concussion. You mentioned this earlier. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark might be teaming up again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not again, but they're teasing.
Which, by the way, I was not upset with the tag titles, the women's tag titles being offset with bringing in Piper and just taking it and said, I'm going to be a partner. I wasn't upset with that.
Nothing. I looked at it and goes, where the hell have you been, Piper? Like,
well, she was sick or whatever, which is fine.
Yeah, but that was before when she came back at the Rumble. What happened to her since?
Yeah.
And also, it kind of works because Chelsea is scared of her.
No, she did have an injury.
Again?
At the Rumble. She did have an injury.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she did have an injury. She was nursing that, but when she had gone away for the past couple of weeks recently, and she had a illness.
So she was recovered.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, man.
But now with the
interesting little gimmick of Chelsea scared to death of her.
Good, I like that. Remember, because she's the Karen of the
she didn't choose her. Piper chose her.
Right.
Like, so, listen, I will be your tag team champion.
This is what I'm saying. Like, this is not.
These belts are cursed.
This is not a Vince booking. Like, I try to tell people, like, Vince would never think like this. I don't see it.
But the pairing of Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler, I just look at it as a team to benefit the belts.
No, I say it this way. I say it that if there's a teaser of it, it's going to be where Zoe's going to fuck Shayna over.
Okay.
Shayna is the face. She's going to be the baby face going forward from here on out.
Right.
They tested it out with her and Rhea. With her and Ronda.
And people cheered her over Ronda.
And it's working.
Right.
So right now, for her before she gets to that next level to go for that title, it's going to be her versus Zoe. Yeah. And that match will not hurt Zoe at any least. Yeah. It's not going to do anything.
Because we have Zoe coming off beating up Trish at the last pay-per-view.
If Zoe stays healthy, she'll be fine.
Right.
She's gonna be legit.
I think right now she's positioned like number 2 heel after Rhea.
Yeah, definitely.
And with Shayna, I think she's getting the reactions that the WWE wanted Ronda to get.
Right.
The badass that everybody can believe kick all these girls' ass.
Right. So I just don't want it to be like, oh no, another fucking tag with her. No.
As long as it doesn't last 6 months.
I don't even want it to last 6 weeks.
Right. Like if it's a month thing.
Right.
Like say like Shayna gets offered a tag title shot and she has to choose a partner. Right. Zoe can sneak in and be like, I'll be your partner. And then at the pay-per-view she screws over Shayna. It's like and then go a 1 month feud.
Yeah, so she just thinks, excuse me, I'm off mic.
Yeah.
And she's sitting there thinking like, oh, not again. I'm not gonna get screwed over by another fucking tag partner. Fuck this. And she just moves on. Nah.
Because at the end of the day, we're going towards Rhea versus Becky for the Raw belt.
Right.
Women's title. And let's be real, there's the Rumble. You can believably have Shayna Baszler challenge Rhea and make it compelling. Mm-hmm. Like, could Shayna be the one to dethrone Rhea Ripley?
Right.
And speaking of Rhea, the women got the main event slot this week. Rhea versus Raquel.
The women got the main event slot a lot.
Well, compared to your usual Judgment Day versus Owen, Zayn, Rollins, Rhodes mixed combination.
Right.
Yeah, the women got the main event slot. And then, as we talked about earlier, Nia Jax made her triumphant return. How triumphant we're talking, I don't know how many people were expecting it. It was rumored for a while. But the last...
I just hope they changed her theme music. They
did.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
To
I didn't get to hear
a boppier version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm okay with it.
We had a Cody thing. Really, nothing happened. Judgment Day attacked him as usual.
Okay.
We had Shinsuke and Seth Rollins continue their stuff. Other than that, pretty much an average Raw for the last one ran by Vince McMahon and Triple H. Technically, really?
It's
technically
their last one. It was supposed to be their last one.
Yeah. I don't know how would you call it? Like the end of an era?
The McMahon era.
The McMahon era.
Yeah. The end of the McMahon era. But it's very kind copy and paste. It's fine. It was okay. Nothing that really would have jumped out to anyone to say like, this is great.
The same stuff we saw last month is continuing on with Shinsuke and Rollins, and then the women's stuff. It's gonna be interesting to see what Rhea, Nia, and Raquel do, but we'll have to wait and see.
Sorry about that. The only thing that bothers me about the Shinsuke thing, I want something more malicious with Shinsuke. I want more heelish Shinsuke.
Are you fine with him paying his promos in his language? With the
no, I'm not. I
think video it's fine, but I think in front of a crowd it's still a problem.
I'm still with
because he gets the what chance.
Have confidence with the foreign talent with getting over with their English. Whenever we would hear Mr. Fuji, and by the way, he's from Hawaii, you guys.
Oh, really? Just like Yokozuna was from Japan.
He was
no Samoan.
So
Banzai. No, yeah, that's Japanese.
It's Jimmy Wang Yang when we find out like, oh, he has a fucking country boy gimmick. Okay. Have confidence with the fact that let them speak English. And then if they have to say something that's very aggressive,
even if it's like a few words like I will kill you.
Oh no, even if it's something that they'll say something that's aggressive, it's in a language and they'll say, you don't understand what I said? And they'll say it in English.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I think the whole, you see how Damien does it? He speaks English, but
now he's speaking.
Oye, cabrón, debe decir algo a ti. Let me tell you something. Like
for the uneducated people in the crowd, what I said was...
Yeah.
Okay,
so, that's because Asuka could speak English.
Yeah.
Nakamura could speak English.
Yeah. It's broken, but you can understand
But you can understand it.
Yeah.
So
Io can speak it.
Eos could speak it, so let them go. Especially Asuka. Asuka's like, she's almost like a fucking scholar. So, what do we have next?
That was it for Raw, but let's talk about SmackDown. SmackDown was the show that had the major highlights on it.
Well, you could get. I had a big weekend, so I wasn't able to watch it. But
I was with you, sir, on Friday.
No, but I was supposed to watch it Saturday. But shout out to my baby girl, super producer Sally's birthday's coming up this week, so we had a lot of
Sally.
we had celebrations going on this weekend. So we have and she tells me, she goes, Dad, we got to watch SmackDown. The Rock came back, and I'm like,
wow,
okay. When are we gonna watch this? But Mike will lead us into this.
Yeah. So, and by the way, we're out on Friday at House of Glory, and the time the show started, the big thing happened.
Oh, so
they opened the show with Pat McAfee.
I didn't know we didn't bring it up. So, just quickly, we were at House of Glory this week. House of Glory presented Fallout, and
unless you're like dyslexic idiot like me, you were reading it wrong.
How did you read it?
The way because it was like fall out, and but it was like FOLU, like
you foul
I
Faulia.
was like, what the fuck is this?
For the guys who does the graphics, you guys got to start working on your shit a little bit. You're doing
also the next
way
show's called
much.
October the Friday the 13th, and then you had your announcer being like, on Friday the 13th at Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
very original.
Let's work on that, guys. But we were at a House of Glory show this past week, and great show. Yeah, great show because it was great.
The most interesting show we've been to in a while.
But it was I say it was great because we had great people around us. It was a good show. Our usual clan and plus more showed up. Yeah. Shout out to my boy Hader who's listening to the show. He popped up, and Scotty and the fan pulled up. Whole Milk and the Will. Good Dad Angel. Referee Angel Cruz. Make sure you look up that boy. Your girl's favorite referee. You better check him. You better check him out.
Yeah. It's great seeing Will at the shows because he said he hasn't been to many indie shows or barely gone to any. So just seeing his reactions to a lot of stuff.
Him bopping to Cash Flow's theme music.
That and then the Sweet Cheek song. He's like dancing to himself.
That made me feel so good. And he's like all into it, like, ooh. I was like, okay.
Makes you like feel like a child watching wrestling all over again.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay. And super producer Sally pulled up that night and had a good time. But House of Glory did a really good job. Shout out to those guys on that side. And check it out. I believe it's on Premiere, and check it out on YouTube. I know that event will be pulling up soon. So
shout out to Steph DeLander for screaming in my face, "Get the fuck out of my way!" when Homicide was chasing after her.
Yeah, exactly. So, what we have for Friday Night SmackDown?
Pat McAfee opened the show. Austin Theory interrupted, and then Pat McAfee brought up the fact that this ain't your show, this is the people's show. And then The Rock's theme hit, and The Rock came back. The Rock is home.
So,
can I just bring this up before you say your thing?
Sure.
During this segment, they brought something back from the Attitude Era.
Which was?
The first night of the draft, they were in Penn State, funny enough, and they do the "We Are Penn State" chant.
Right.
So The Rock, that night, he did the same thing on SmackDown. He goes, I want one side of the crowd to say, "You are," and the other side to say, "An asshole." So they pointed, "You are an asshole.
Yeah.
You are an asshole."
I want to
20 years in the making.
Are we I'm not ready to take the moment where I spiked the
Cody
ball.
somewhere was crying because The Rock is back.
I'm not gonna sit there and spike the ball yet. I'm not yet. But I've been teasing for a long time that the real storyline is going to be who is the true tribal chief.
Right.
And
we've all been waiting on this motherfucker.
Have we? Yeah. So people were
Can
like,
we also back up for a second too? Because that day on ESPN on the Pat McAfee show, this motherfucker revealed to Pat McAfee the match was supposed to happen this year in Hollywood.
Right, but
he had to back out of it.
He had to back it out, yeah.
And then when they asked him, "Are you still going to do it?" And he goes, "Maybe."
Right.
All the Cody fans cried.
Yeah, but
because in people's minds, Cody will never get this Roman Reigns match.
No, and this is what I'm telling you. Guys, I'm telling you,
by the grace of God,
the proclamation that I'm telling you today. This match is going to happen, and the belt is not necessary. The only thing that people are holding out for is that he's breaking Hulk Hogan's record. To me,
bullshit.
Who cares? That record doesn't mean anything. Mm-hmm. You know, like I had a conversation with in our group chat with Henry, and it's like, well, Hogan did all this, and Hogan's paying for it now. The motherfucker had like 23 fucking back surgeries for it. But at the end of the day,
he's been working more than Roman.
But it means nothing. Mm-hmm. It means it doesn't mean anything.
The record Roman has now is already a great as it is. It doesn't need more.
For the era, that's what it is.
Correct.
What makes more sense is the story.
Right.
And the true story is who is the legit tribal chief. Right. And if Roman drops the belt, it gives more Rock leverage to say, wow, you couldn't even go to WrestleMania holding a belt to fight against me. What makes you the true tribal chief? Right. Whereas at the same token, Roman could say, I've held the belt longer than you have in your
7 years you've been here, or how your decade long
run.
Right.
So that is a more of a tangible story.
I agree with you. The story is there, but then it's also like where you're trying to realistically say, when the fuck does this dude lose the belt?
Right.
Like, it would have to be at the Rumble.
Right.
But then, because right now they're teasing LA Knight as the next challenger, and I don't see Roman defending the title until Survivor Series and Rumble. He only has 2 shows realistically booked.
Now,
whereas
is there a way that we see Cody get traded to SmackDown?
There could be a way.
Right. I do think that can happen.
There's other ways for him to get this match with Roman aside from winning the Rumble again.
But this is why I tell you that I that's why I appreciate the brand split, because it's just like sports. And Triple H and a lot of them are in there. They're sports fans. Mm-hmm. You can still have trades. So we can do this. Right. So you have to give us your biggest talent to get a bigger talent. I wouldn't be surprised.
Now, it'd be funny. You're saying all this, and mind you, like, say like the next pay-per-view after Rumble is the Chamber, and they start doing qualifying matches, and Raw superstars are trying to qualify for the Chamber.
I wouldn't be surprised if Cody won the title during an Elimination Chamber match. I wouldn't be surprised.
What I'm saying is he would win the Chamber just to get to face Roman. The winner would face Roman.
No.
Say like Gunther wins the Rumble and he automatically declares, "I challenge the world champion Seth Rollins."
Right.
Then they do the Chamber match to determine, okay, who faces Roman. Cody somehow sneaks his way in that match just as a qualifier, then wins it, and then he gets his match with Roman.
That's a possibility.
But realistically, I don't see Roman working both nights of WrestleMania. I don't see him doing night 1 against Cody,
that's what they
and then night 2 against The Rock. That's not happening.
But that's what they were teasing before.
Correct.
That's what they wanted before.
Right.
And Rock would be like, whoa. If you're the real, true tribal chief, why don't you work both nights? Face me on your second night. Let's see if you could do what a real tribal chief would do. It's not far-fetched. Yeah. But
and then you can throw too, like, if you can kick Cody's ass on night 1 and then kick my ass on night 2, then maybe you really are the tribal chief.
Right. So,
but if you can beat one and not me, you ain't shit, that type of thing.
And I don't think Roman will lose to The Rock. I think he beats The Rock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that. But what else we had on that night?
Yeah, but The Rock. Yeah.
Which, by the way, the trade that I think that could have happened, it would be LA Knight for Cody.
What do you mean? Because Jey Uso went to Raw.
Right. But I told you.
You think there's going to be another trade?
I think there's another trade that's going to happen.
Maybe it's more than one superstar.
Maybe.
Because whatever the trade is, it needs to be the same level as talent as Jay, or like even more.
But you know why I think it'd be a separate trade? Because I think it might be something that occurs during Survivor Series. That's why it happens. Mm-hmm. So I believe that it's either Kevin or Sammy that goes to SmackDown for the Jay trade, and that's why I said. But I believe it's more Sammy because he and Jay have like that relationship,
right? So
they'll split them. But I also think that because of Survivor Series, something's going to happen where the trade is going to happen, and they're going to put LA Knight on Raw and put Cody on SmackDown.
That would even things out, honestly.
Right. So we shall see.
And then say if Gunther gets the world title before Mania, you could have LA Knight win the Rumble and then do LA Knight and Gunther for the world title.
I think Gunther's title is going to be the one against Seth, so that's what it's going to be. Yeah, it's going to be that title. So
the world title thing at WrestleMania is going to be interesting,
right?
But on the show we had a rare AJ Styles versus Finn Balor match.
Oh, AJ.
Yeah. Do you think his star is falling, or just him winding down?
AJ's just getting a check and he loves it. At this point in time, he's good. And he stays healthy. He's fucking legit. He's better than 99% of those motherfuckers in there.
Yeah.
And
even when he is hurt.
Yeah. And I think right now he's just like, you know what? I don't need a belt. I'm good. Like, let me go home, see my kids, play sports, I'm good. I can hang out, play my video games, go on Twitch. And he doesn't care. AJ doesn't care, but it would be good to see him get one last run. But he's good right now. I would like to see the faction. I like to see OGs get the push, get that. So yeah, I would like to see them get. If they're gonna split the belts again, let them get a chance to get that belt, and let them go through the gauntlet.
Yeah. Speaking of factions, there is a faction growing on SmackDown with Lashley and the Street Profits.
More to come.
Yeah, they interrupted a segment with the LWO where Santos Escobar just asked Rey Mysterio, "Can I have my chance at the U.S. title?" They interrupt. Brouhaha escalates. So they announced next week it's going to be Rey and Santos against the Street Profits in a tag match.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know what the funny thing about this whole thing is? The Street Profits and Lashley are supposed to be booed as heels, but they're being cheered.
Of course they are.
Yeah, couldn't somebody tell the fans that? We had a rematch from the pay-per-view, LA Knight against The Miz, and LA Knight won easily. Nothing really there. But with LA Knight, they are teasing something with him going after Roman. Because they have Paul Heyman approach him in the back, be like, I'm an admirer of your work, type of bullshit again. And then LA Knight told him, well, actually, this is the night LA Knight cut a promo saying, I'm looking for gold, and if it's for the Universal title, you bet your sweet ass I'm going to go for it.
Yeah.
So that seems more likely for the Rumble, in my opinion. Because if we're going to have either if Cody and LA Knight are the final two in the Rumble, Cody will get heat. And that's not what this company wants. They don't want people to boo him yet.
LA Knight right now,
because right now he's the top babyface on SmackDown.
He just needs a nice mid card run. It's okay. Mm-hmm. There's nothing. Gable could be their mid card run right now. LA Knight could be their SmackDown's mid card run until it switches. Like I said, until I figure a trade would happen, which wouldn't be a bad thing, because if it does occur,
with him going for a mid card thing, the timing of that and then a trade, like it would intertwine itself where it's kind of bad, honestly.
How
would you go for the U.S. title and then immediately get traded over to Raw? And then you have to be like, okay, Gable has the Intercontinental. The only thing he would go for would be the world title. So realistically,
but in let's say if Knight gets traded to Raw, right? In my world, right? So who right now is in mid card contention right now? Miz is there. He's the big heel for it.
Miz on Raw,
right?
Gable.
Who else is there as a heel that's
on Raw?
Yeah,
it'd be Finn. Technically Finn and Damian, but they're a tag team.
Finn is still chasing.
JD is still not ready yet.
No.
Bronson barely gets on TV.
Dominic or maybe
Shinsuke, maybe.
Dominic maybe.
Yeah, Shinsuke.
You could bump him up.
Shinsuke after
you need a hot heel to ignite that. So that will be Dominic, and
LA Knight versus Dominic Mysterio for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you gotta fan that flame for it, because Gable is the obvious choice to get that mid card one, right? And if I say, like I said, in my world, if we get LA Knight trade so that Cody goes that way and he gets the mid card, LA Knight is not gonna be primetime ready for the main belt until after Mania next year. So get him something chasing mid-card wise, and let's see how the fans rock with that. Because remember, fans are fickle. Once you give them something, they'll sit there and they'll, okay, we gave him the belt.
Yeah, right now he's getting praised. Meanwhile, in a few months, they might turn on him.
Right, exactly.
And then everything will shit the
bed. So, gotta check it out.
Other things on SmackDown, we had Asuka defeat Bayley to build up Asuka's rematch against Io Sky next week.
I'm not really upset with the women's division right now. It's
much clearer on SmackDown.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So then we had that, and then we had the Grayson Waller effect with John Cena.
I like that kid.
How much? We also had a funny thing on SmackDown where they did a backstage segment with John Cena and The Rock faced off.
Nah, I do like that kid. He's actually talented. I hate his ring gear though. It's kind of fucking confusing to me. But
basketball stuff is weird.
Is it basketball or is it like it's UFC or I don't know what I don't know what
he does the fucking between the legs gimmick.
Is it that what it is? Yeah, that's not you, bro.
And they just boxing jabs.
Yeah, that's what it is. I think that's what it is. He has boxing attire. That's what it is. But
he does like lunges, and then like when he jumps off the top rope, he does the in between.
Yeah, I would prefer to see him more in like traditional gear. But
instead of like boxing shorts.
What do I know?
Yeah, what do you know? Have you trained?
Never.
Okay. Never. So this is the one with John. We had John Cena as a guest. Really, the segment was more of just like a run on from Money in the Bank. Honestly, Then we had a thing at the end where Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso attack John Cena. Jimmy Uso is trying to dap up with his brother, but Solo's not taking it. And then we had AJ Styles make the save to tease AJ and Cena versus Solo and Jimmy Uso. Where I think the problem with Roman's not there is that there's no clear direction of what the fuck is going on. Where you have Solo on the show and he's not talking, he's not giving a reason what he's going to do on the show. He just does what he does. Cena's there. We don't know how long he's going to last. We know what dates he's going to be on, but we don't really see a future or the direction for him. AJ seems to be the next challenger, but they're not really building that up in a way where it makes you okay, this is the next Roman Reigns match. And then you have Jimmy, who's just pretty much stuck in fucking limbo of, I don't want to be with my cousin. I want to be with my cousin. I don't know what to do type of thing.
The only thing
the main event scene on SmackDown is very scrambled.
The only thing I don't like about, well, I can say the only thing because there's a few things I don't like. But the one thing that I don't like about the whole way the booking's been going on is this must-see TV shit where it's like, we'll tell you the date that Roman's going to be on. Because I want to be like, fuck that. If you haven't been watching.
You know how many times I've seen that fucking graphic and get more and more angry?
My shit, yeah,
Roman Reigns returns.
My whole shit
why
is
the
like,
fuck is he not here?
Yeah,
just explain.
My whole shit is
like, oh, he's on vacation.
Or he's filming a movie, or he's got fucking chemo on his balls. Like something. Say something to me. But I hate this. Like this.
You can't go weeks without him being on TV, and then all of a sudden pop up a graphic.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Not for nothing. When he's on one week and misses the next week, and then that week you put a graphic up saying he returns, motherfucker, he's been gone for a week.
Because what they're saying,
you make it sound like he's gone forever.
Their whole shit is with them. It's like we know if we say Roman's gonna show up, that the ratings are gonna pop.
Yeah,
and my shit goes, well, if you have a legion of loyal wrestling fans,
they'll tune in.
They'll tune in regardless, just to see if he does pop up.
Correct.
The one thing that I liked during the Attitude Era was that they knew that Stone Cold was in a building, but you just didn't know when he was gonna pop up. Right. So there was like Jim Ross would be like, Stone Cold is in the building. We're looking to see to have a conversation when it occurs, but you didn't know it was gonna be at the 9 o'clock hour. You didn't know it was gonna be at the 10 o'clock hour.
Or hell, he'll show up in the last 5 minutes of the show.
Right. So you had to sit and watch.
Sit there and watch it.
Exactly.
Until you heard the glass shatter. And then, oh, shit. Here it is.
But I don't like this must-see TV bullshit.
I'll say this with AEW. One thing they have an advantage over that I like over WWE is that where they'll put on their graphic like, oh, we'll hear from Jay White or we hear from this person.
Right. That's a classic WCW move.
It's not the whole Jay White returns or this person returns. Like they're there because they're gonna be there every week. And they have something to say or they're gonna do something.
Right.
But all in all, I think Raw was better this week, honest to God. Out of the two,
SmackDown?
Like in ring wise and like content wise, I would say.
You said Raw or SmackDown?
Raw is better than SmackDown this week. Even with The Rock, like the first 30 minutes of the show was fine.
Oh, okay.
And then it just went down a cliff.
What do we got next?
AEW, your favorite.
Ooh.
Are you still liking the half empty pictures?
What what you sent me pissed me off was was how much they're charging for the trios titles.
Oh, I shared that on the Instagram story, the $5,000.
If I ever
each.
No, it can't be each.
It said each separately.
Each belt is $5,000.
One belt is $5,000. If you have to get all three, it would be that 15.
If I ever see any of you issues, any of you issues with this belt, I will approach you.
I would steal
ask
the belt.
you and ask you
throw it in the garbage.
No, and ask you.
Do you have money for rent?
Exactly. I'm like, what do you do for a living?
Did you win the lottery?
Because I never want to hear that people are broke. There's so much stuff
Don't
and the
hold the belt and
LBC.
say I'm poor.
No, don't ever say, "Oh, this is ridiculous how the government treats us." If you paid $5,000 for that belt, and it's not the greatest looking belt either, it's not, but you pay $5,000.
May God have mercy on your soul.
You better tell me that you're part of a Fortune 500 company.
That, and you better have a house next month.
Listen, I make good money. Well, decent money. I can say good money. I make decent money. I'm able to provide for the fucking shit apartment rent that I get, that I have to pay for, and I care for 3 other people. Let me tell you something. Even with that, I hang toy belts behind me.
I was about to say, I see above your air conditioning.
That's the only belt.
A replica WWE United States title.
You know how much? You know how much I paid for that belt?
Probably like a few hundred.
It was $450, and
Okay.
I got it during the sale that WWE had.
Right.
And even that, I bought it because I had a nice fucking income tax return.
Correct.
I wasn't gonna go fucking buy that
Which
shit
is the
regardless.
perfect timing if you want to do big spending when you get tax
All
return.
the belts that I have hanging behind me, they're toys, and it's fucking. I do it as a goof because I fucking find it hilarious. As a matter of fact, I still have one that I need to hang up, and it's a goof. I'm not gonna sit there and fucking pay $5,000 for. Fuck off. Fuck you, Tony Khan, for doing that. Any case, go ahead.
AEW Dynamite. Dynamite! We opened. You want to just go through everything?
Just
quickly?
go through it. Fuck the opening.
Mox beat Big Bill in his hometown.
I don't care.
International
You know what's so bad about that? I so did not care about this match. Like,
you didn't care about Big Bill.
no, I so didn't care.
This was Moxie's first defense.
Don't care.
No, it wasn't. It was a third or second.
You know, I
By the way, he was in his hometown.
I
Even
love-
though the fuck was a heel.
I love the match where
He
Orange
beat the
Cassidy
shit
got
out of
his
the dude?
out of Orange Cassidy got his ass whipped. That I was good with that. Then I didn't realize afterwards that I said,
But let me ask you. You didn't like Orange Cassidy's reign at all.
no, none.
You didn't like the story of him getting his ass
Nothing.
kicked each week and still retaining.
Nothing. The Moxley ass whipping was the best one to go with.
Yeah.
And that's the one I went with.
But let's be realistic. If you could put anybody in that spot, you would be happy.
I thought he
Orange
should
Cassidy
have.
has his ass handed to him after like 30 defenses, and whoever was going to be number 32 was going to get the belt from him.
Of course, it was going to be Moxley on a belt that is like, we're only going to give Moxley the belt because we're going to make him the Grand Slam champion or whatever. Fuck, fuck that. I don't care. Like, it doesn't.
But Moxley is the ace of this company.
Right.
He's a locker room leader.
So, he and
He retained.
Big Bill had this match.
Yeah, nothing. He retained. Tony Storm won the number 1 contender match against Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida, and Nyla Rose.
That story, I'm kind of.
What do you think about this character that Tony Storm's doing? She's
I
basically
like it.
Marilyn Monroe.
I like it.
You see her backstage interviews where she's throwing a
Yeah.
shoe at the interviewer?
Yeah, I like it. I think.
Fuck, I wish I knew the whole thing, but there's a part of it where she's like, tits out, and then watch for the shoe.
Yeah, I like her.
And she goes off screen and then throws a shoe.
But is she still with the Outcast or?
Well, that's the story going. Because at the pay-per-view, I believe she cost Ruby
you know-
Soho the belt.
So check this. You know what's funny, right? Because I'm in my 2K world, in my universe.
Oh, great.
I have the Outcast together, right?
Right.
And
As soon as they break up.
my universe is the way I have it set up. They broke them up on their own.
Oh,
Yeah, like
eerie.
yeah, and I was like,
Do I know what I'm doing?
yeah, exactly. I was like, wait a minute, and then I put them back together again. But it's still, you still see the enemies is her friends. So I was like,
Interesting.
oh my god, I'm doing a Tony Khan booking right now. They do the same shit.
Let's take that soundbite and keep it forever. I'm a Tony Khan booker.
Yeah, exactly. Next up.
Hangman Page beat Brian Cage in their 3rd match ever, and then after the match, we had Mogul Embassy attack Adam Page, and then the Young Bucks make the save, and this was probably the best part, was Prince Nana dancing and not
Oh
realizing
my
the Young Bucks
God.
were behind him.
I am so happy that my boy Nana's getting love.
Bro, this dude signed a new deal, and the best part was if you put a stopwatch on, it took Prince Nana probably like too many seconds to realize, turn around and get a kick in the face.
Oh my God.
And even when he got kicked, he had to stop what he was doing and go, and then the Bucks kicked him in the face.
Oh my God. I'm so happy for my
Prince,
boy.
man.
My guy.
That dude cost me.
That's my guy.
Dude scammed me. The first time I ever met him, scammed me out of $20. He put the robe on me. We took a picture. Next thing I know, my 20's out of my hand. But I didn't agree with it. I don't know what to tell you. 20. Fucking Nana.
Love that guy.
What's next? Jesus Christ. A lot.
Nana. What's his name?
Darby and McWayne had a tag match against 2.0.
No, don't care.
Cool.
Don't care.
Oh, something we can talk about. Finals of the Grand Slam tournament. Roderick Strong against Samoa Joe.
So
this tournament sucked in the way of them picking the people.
And it's basically was the obvious build up to this.
Can we be real here? Realistically, both of them can win this.
Right.
The story is there for both of them.
Right.
But Roderick Strong's still selling the fact that he has a broken neck. And meanwhile, he's still doing Roderick Strong things in the ring. Like nothing is wrong.
Right.
And you have Samoa Joe, who's supposed to be exclusive to Ring of Honor, who's just on AEW television now, which he should be. But we had Samoa Joe win this tournament, being Roderick Strong. So it'll be MJF versus Samoa Joe for the world title. And then after the match, we had Roderick Strong basically laid out like he was dead, screaming for Adam Cole to come out and make the save. And then you had Joe run out, choke Adam Cole out, and that's how they ended the show, I believe.
We're friends. Why aren't you my friend anymore?
Adam!
Why aren't you my friend anymore? You're my friend. Pussies.
Come on, this is their closest attempt to a bloodline story.
All right. Is that what we're gonna call it these days? Okay.
The bootleg version of the bloodline.
Stop. What else we got?
Well, that was it for Dynamite. Joe comes out strong. He has a match next week for the world title, but we'll get into that in a bit.
Okay.
The only thing I want to mention for Rampage,
we're not doing Rampage, are we?
The only thing I want to do is mention that this was the last match for Jade Cargill under AEW. She got a rematch with Chris Statlander, and Chris
Is
Statlander
anybody really
won.
caring about?
I feel bad for Chris Statlander.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is anybody really caring about this?
Like, not until like All Out, she wasn't on TV. She was barely on TV.
And now she got this title run. Like, does anyone care?
Sadly, no.
Yeah.
And she won the match. Her and Jade shook hands, and now Jade Cargill's off to WWE.
All right.
And Chris is stuck in AEW.
How was Collision?
Collision was a very interesting show. We had Danielson and Claudio. Claudio, who's, by the way, a heel, teaming with a babyface Bryan Danielson, going against Ricky Starks and Big Bill.
That whole, ever since Punk left, and
nobody knows who they are anymore.
And ever since Punk left, and they need a flag face for that
Collision.
show. So apparently it's supposed to be Bryan Danielson, but there's no story to say that there's gonna be some kind of heat between the Blackpool Combat Club.
These guys are not talking to each other about overall objective.
Or why don't you just why don't you just keep him heel and just say that heel is the face of that show? Like, I guess maybe because that doesn't work. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but Ricky Starks and Big Bill got the win. We had the FTR Open Challenge, which I think everybody can agree with, and saying enough with the fucking open challenges. Just name number one contenders and beat it. But they beat the Iron Savages. Then they got confronted by the Workhorsemen, which everybody,
the worst name ever.
Which they were greeted to.
Iron Savages. That's a horrible name.
Well, how about the people that came out and challenged FTR for next week? The Workhorsemen.
You know what?
With all respect to them, they do. If you keep up with DPW on the Indies, they're killing it over there. But this crowd gave them a "Who are you?" chant.
Right, exactly. I'm glad they did that.
Yeah. Your boy Anthony Bowens had
my guy. It's my guy.
Had a match with John Silver.
It's my guy.
They're teasing Dark Order going for the trios belts.
Okay.
Nothing really to complain about there. Simple story there enough. The Hardys battled the Righteous in their AEW TV debut. We had Chris Statlander versus Britt Baker. Britt Baker wants to be the first woman to be able to lay claim to be the first women's and TBS champion, but she lost. Britt Baker's just being used on TV for no reason, with no direction at all.
Wasn't she like the face of the women's company?
Correct.
Yeah, wow.
We had a rare Scorpio Sky
I
appearance.
can't wait till she's disgruntled.
You can't wait till she gets fired or wants to leave.
Not even fired. Like, she's just disgruntled and she starts really talking shit
She
about
wants to be a WWE. She looks like a WWE girl.
She wants to go back home because that's where she was at. She wants to go back home.
What's home?
She wrestled in WWE.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
Okay, just competing in the Mae Young Classic doesn't mean she was a WWE
Look her
girl.
up. She was in NXT. Look her up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speak of someone that wants to go back to WWE, Andrade had a match.
Oh my God.
Against Scorpio Sky.
Andrade, I'll see you at a House of Glory in December.
Oof.
And Scorpio Sky, shit. I'll see you in November.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Exactly.
Fuck. And then he got confronted by Jay White.
Ah, man.
Interesting because apparently last week Andrade was scouting his match last week, so now Jay White wants to face him. It's teasing Bullet Club Gold against. Oh my God! Let's practice my Spanish. La Faction Ingobernable.
El Facción de Ingobernable.
Yeah, that bullshit.
Yeah. Hey, why? Because it was in Spanish? What's wrong with you?
It was bullshit.
Los Ingobernables de.
That was pretty much the whole show, and then but they announced a bunch of matches for Grand Slam Rampage, and then I think you're gonna like this. This is the highlight of Collision, that Ricky Starks challenged Bryan Danielson to a Texas death match
again. Again. You know, I had a conversation about the match
that was Collision. Everybody,
the match that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn had at a Payback, the tag team match, right? And I said,
the fuck they call it? The Steel City street fight,
right? And I said, you know why I appreciated that match and I liked the match? Because you don't fucking see it often. You know why I appreciated Kevin Owens doing the swanton through the tables on somebody?
Because you barely saw that.
Because you don't fucking see it often.
He also missed it. He barely missed it.
That's okay.
Well, no, he
barely hit it.
He barely hit it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you don't fucking see it often.
Me English. Also, you rarely see Kevin Owens bleed, and he was bleeding.
With this fucking...
In WWE, you barely see people bleed.
Jesus Christ. And it's like, okay. And this is why I'm saying you water down all your fucking... You know what? I've done said it too many times about
but Jay, let's be excited because AEW is coming to town.
Yay!
For AEW Grand Slam once again at Arthur Ashe Stadium.
Oh my God! Another fucking event that I'm gonna miss because
how many people are gonna be in the building? Maybe 15,000. I don't think so.
Ooh, that's interesting. What's the over?
We're talking about attendance.
That's what I'm saying. What? All right,
because the one we went to was their biggest one.
It was packed. We went to the first show. Okay,
correct.
So, let's do a bet here. All right.
Well, hold on. Look up the numbers quick.
About what?
The attendance
of the building.
Yeah, because I think last year they said the rate was like 14,000.
Okay. All right. Let's say. All right. Let's put that.
So say like our first one was 12,000. They went up.
Let's put an over and under. Right. Well,
over 10,000 or under.
I know. I wouldn't say that. I will say 9,500. Will they do over or under 9,500?
I think under.
Really?
I think people are backing out.
I'll think they will do over 9,500, but by a slither of it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I will say under still, and then people will walk out before the Rampage taping
And the
start.
only reason why is because the venue has not changed with everything that they do with their vending and all that stuff.
Right.
It still fucking sucks.
Right.
from what I've heard from everybody.
I mean, when we went, the lines were ridiculous to get even a fucking hot dog.
Right. And
or a
anytime,
beer.
And anytime that they've gone back there, it has not
It's gotten
changed.
worse.
Yeah, I've heard it. So I'm going to say diehard wrestling fans, AEW fans will go.
Wrestling fans will stick around for the Dynamite show.
But I have
they won't stick around for Rampage.
But I have yet to hear that there's only a few people that I know who said that they're going, and it's not like it used to be. So I'm gonna say I would say the over 9,500, but just by
barely.
a little, barely. And you said under, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And then it gets drastically worse when the Rampage taping starts, because they're not gonna stick around for.
They're doing a 2-hour fucking Rampage.
Yeah.
They did I forgot the show that they did recently, that they did it at the UBS arena, and it was flat, horrible.
Did they not? It was 2 hours Rampage. I thought it was gonna be one.
I heard it was a 2-hour run. I saw a 2-hour run.
But remember when we went, they were taping Dark Elevation before.
Before
Dynamite.
No, but I heard for this one they're doing a 2-hour Rampage. So,
Okay.
but other than that, anything else you have there?
Well, let's go over the card.
Okay.
Because this is one of their bigger shows on a Wednesday night.
Oh my God, this is like AIDS wrapped in a fucking cancer blanket. All right, let's go.
Okay, so where you going? Get back here. I need your predictions. Yeah, get back. Let's go. Get the fuck back here. Your boy Jon Moxley defends the AEW International Championship against Rey Fenix.
Moxley wins.
Okay. The Battle of Les Sex Gods. Chris Jericho versus Sammy Guevara.
Sammy wins.
We have the AEW Women's World Title. Saraya versus Toni Storm. Saraya retains.
No, I'm actually gonna go the other way.
You think she's gonna drop the belt quickly?
I think she's gonna drop the belt quick. I think it'll be Toni Storm.
Okay, I'll be honest. This is the match I'm looking forward to. This is the match with the most build.
It should be.
Winner takes all for the Ring of Honor World Title and for the New Japan Openweight Title. Claudio Castagnoli versus Eddie Kingston.
Let's
go, Eddie.
Eddie wins, and
because also they said too, like, after once I win, you have to shake my hand.
Yeah, Eddie wins. Eddie wins.
And then for the AEW World Title, MJF versus Samoa Joe.
MJF wins.
How competitive do you think this will be?
I actually think it'll be. He tends to surprise a lot of people. So I think
he's been on a real roll.
Yeah,
with the Iron Man and then
and with the in-house crowd. I think that
Oh yeah, he's a homeboy.
Yeah, I think MJF wins here.
Right. So that's Dynamite fight match.
I think there might be some shenanigans with Adam Cole or
Roderick Strong.
or stuff. Yeah, but MJF wins.
So then we go to the Rampage portion for the AEW World Trios belts. The Acclaimed defend against the Dark Order. Evil Uno, Silver, and Reynolds.
Come on.
They're selling belts for $5,000. They need these guys to keep these belts.
They're going to keep those
longer.
belts for like a year. Of course, the Acclaim win.
For the ROH World 6-Man Tag Titles. The Mogul Embassy, Brian Cage, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona versus the Elite, the Young Bucks, and Hangman Page.
The Elite win.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And then in the main event of Rampage, Darby Allin and Sting versus Christian Cage and Luchasaurus.
Does Sting lose tonight?
No. I don't think Sting loses ever. He will go.
He is
into
the goal.
He will go into the night undefeated.
Yeah. I'm gonna go the opposite.
How about
way.
this? Whose dead dad is Christian gonna piss off?
I'm gonna go the opposite way, and I'm gonna say that Luchasaurus and Christian win tonight.
Yeah. Well, Darby's gonna eat the pin regardless. Sting ain't getting pinned.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Grand Slam. Grand Slam 2023.
Wow! Thank God I didn't buy tickets for that shit.
You're not going this year?
Hell the fuck fuck no. I have sick children to deal with. I am.
It sounds like yes. You said like children.
I should have bought tickets because it's Sully's birthday that day, but I know I have to work that night too. So I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Also, imagine the traffic. I mean, when we went, at least we had a ride.
Yeah. And even still, it's still a pain in the fucking groin to get out of there. But other than that, man. But thank you for checking in, man. You're doing God's work with us right now. Let everybody know where they can get you at and how much I'm sitting here giving much love to you and how much I'm paying you for this shit. No, I'm kidding. Let everybody know what you do.
If you really want to know, and if you want to ask me for my services, we'll talk. But if you want to follow me personally,
he's good. He's good on the social medias. He's good.
Barely. But if you want to follow
you got better. You got a lot better.
Thank you. Yeah. If you want to follow me personally, it's at M_Serentino 530 SERRENTINO. And then if for Turnbuckle Tabloid socials, where if you see anything on the Twitter and the Instagram, that's all me. It's at Turnbuckle Tab.
Yeah. If you need somebody that's gonna sit there and go through the socials and boost up your stuff, Sorrentino's your guy, man. And thank you for doing that.
Sorrentino, not Soren.
Soren.
That's why I spelled it, sir.
Tomato.
Sorrentino is the Jersey Shore guy. I'm not.
The tomato. You might want to go with the Jersey Shore guy because they'll sit there and fucking follow you quicker.
Yeah, I'll have the FBI on my ass for taxes.
But thanks again, brother, for coming in and love you, bro, for doing that.
After this week,
I
needed to come by.
And this might be the closeout of the episode, but thank you guys for being a part of the episode and showing much love. And thanks again for checking in for Turnbuckle Tabloid. And as always, love you guys. See you guys later.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Turnbuckle Tabloid.